Hello.
Hello! Happy
And
Tuesday, everybody, and good anime morning.
good morning.
Ahoy hoy.
We're going to be looking through anime morning challenge entries from last week.
We sure are. I'm just laughing because meow is the first thing I saw in chat from Wasabi Cheetah.
All right, I gotcha.
Meow!
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing me tea, India.
Oh, you're welcome, Michael.
I'm a little bit
I have some too.
spaced. This will help.
Yeah, me too. We overslept a little bit, which is why the stream is unfortunately a bit late today. So we kind of like ran out of bed straight to the computers, so we're both kind of like, whoa.
What happened? Yeah.
A Sun animation, the challenge this week was to do some water animation. It was an effects challenge. So we challenged people to animate watery goodness.
Yeah, the option of what kind of water was up to them, whatever they felt like they wanted to practice or do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of variety in here so far that I've gathered. I will be gathering challenge entries as India and I talk about them. You don't really need to know that, but
well, now we do.
I need to know that.
Ink Between's tea is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So, I am not super well versed in effects animation or water animation, so I'll if there's anything I see that I can critique, I will do my best to give feedback. But my knowledge here is limited.
Yeah.
So just a forewarning.
Have you got Sync SketchUp?
I do in a second.
All right.
I sure do in a second.
It's fine if you don't. It's fine.
I just need to bring it up. Uno momento, por favor.
The Sabi says, just say bam and we're sold. Done.
And bam!
Alright.
There we go. I can pop out chat, that's helpful. Okay, I have Sync SketchUp.
Cool. Cool. Very, very good.
Yeah, so we get to see what people have been up to.
Alright, I'm switching over. Hold on to your butts. Here we go. We did it.
Oh heck yeah.
How are your butts? Did they stay intact? Or are they watery?
I get it.
Yeah. Here we go. So this first one up is by Oli Loken. Who animated a thing.
Yeah, she sure did.
Yeah. I think it's
Ola has done a previous challenge with us and like really aced it and did an amazing job. So I'm excited to see this. Maybe we'll learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
Through having a look. So, do you want me to play it, Mike, or would you like to play it through?
I'll hit play. I'm doing it now.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. I don't know why I count down. I don't know. I like countdowns for some reason. You ready?
Yeah?
Okay. Watch
Oh, a little fish inside it. That's really fun. I love how it's very rough, but you can still get the volume of the water feeling very consistent. Look at that, look at the beautiful hand. Oh, the scribble pass on that beautiful hand is so nice.
Yeah,
I'm like obsessed with the hand instead of looking at the water.
For reference, Oli didn't want to post this on Twitter because he didn't think it was good in that it was too stiff.
I see.
This is the caliber.
I see. Yeah, just to, let you guys know. See, there is something I can see that I could give feedback on about this. I mean, aside the fact that my feedback is, wow, this is fun and cute and cool, I like it. Like, I love this little fish. Wow! Wow! You see, the feedback that I would have is that it feels like the water gets poured in from this end here and kind of sweeps around the bowl like this, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there is an adequate slosh back down this way. It feels like this end here would rise up more before settling down as the water swirls around the cup.
Okay.
Because right now it kind of feels like it sweeps up at the right hand side and then just settles into being flat immediately.
Oh,
We have
okay,
this-
so you want like that, the volume and the weight of the right hand side to sort of whoop over to back to the other side.
Exactly, and then for it to settle back into the usual, settle back into it being flat. I love how it just pops out at the end. That's so cute. Cute little fish.
Oli's here. He says, "Yep, good point. To be honest, I spent most of my time on the hand and not following the assignment."
Well, the hand is beautiful. I ain't got no feedback on the hand. It's really nice.
It's funny, you were spending most of your time on the hand, and you're spending most of your time looking at the hand.
Yeah, well, the hand is like super nicely drawn. These hand drawings are gorgeous. I like the way that you can see your construction here, how you're using the knuckle as a landmark in order to show the tilt. It's nice planning. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm just looking at the hand. Sorry, guys. It's so nicely animated. Yeah, I like the spacing there as it comes back a lot as well. It's nice, nice little arc. Let's see. I guess it would be nice also when this comes up to kind of feel a bit disconnect from it, because at the minute it kind of feels like this shape chases up this droplet from the beginning rather than this shape rising up and then separating into, you know, a droplet. You wouldn't have that there. As the body of the wall pulls this back down, but the momentum keeps that going up, droplets would separate from the top. But yeah, other than that, I think this is lovely.
Lovely.
So what a strong way to start. Heck yeah. I think the boil in this is super nice as well at the end. Like, it's nice to keep that life and movement in it. I like the way that you've used the kind of lineless brush strokes here to... You haven't given it a black outline. I like the way that it's just coloured strokes. Kind of makes it feel watercolorish almost. Which I like. Something about Princess Kaguya or something comes to mind.
Oh, right, yeah. The Ghibli feature.
Yeah. That's lovely work. You'll do better next time. What you talking about, Ola? What are you talking about? It's beautiful. You kidding me? You always deliver. It's so nice. It's little dude. Wah. He's so cute. All right, let's hop on to the next one.
All right.
Oh, we've got anime Minas.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like, from what I saw from the tweet, they were saying reference water pouring YouTube videos and Tibbs's water animation for this week's Animorning Challenge. It was fun to do, and the 3-hour deadline. Oh my. One sec.
Are you okay?
I changed accounts over on Twitter and it just caught up. So
oh, I see.
It reloaded. The 3-hour deadline really helped to not get stuck on a single frame. Cool. And then they linked to Tibbs's.
Oh, that's awesome.
water.
I'm glad that helped. And yeah, I think picking a big brush to just like do blobs with the water is a really good idea. Like, especially with effects animation, working in block colors can be really helpful rather than thinking in lines too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, nice. Yeah, I can see the reference of Tibbs's. Let's see. That is beautiful. All the bubbles too. It really helps to show like that the volume is shifting around in there.
Yeah, like those forces acting inside of the volume of the water.
Yeah.
Pushing and pulling on the bubbles.
Beautiful. See sneaky transforming here at the end. It works though. A good tip for when you do sneaky transforms like this is if you transform it and then adjust these little lines at the front denoting the front of the glass, it makes it feel a little bit more organic. You can't tell that it's transformed because a part of it is moving. So, for example, when it's higher up, this part to balance it out would probably be a little bit lower. Sorry about the sketchiness of my lines here. Let me just draw that again as one line so it's a bit easier to see.
What do you feel like you learned from this one man anime that you hadn't necessarily learned on other animations you've done? Anything you can share with us that you felt was like something clicked for you?
Yeah. It's also okay if you're like, no, this was just a nightmare. Why did I do this?
Hey Josie, thanks for coming by.
Oh, no, I don't want to delete the current sketch. I want to delete that current frame. Don't know how to do that though. Suppose I could just erase it? I thought there should be a way to... Or maybe the current sketch is that. I'm too scared though, in case it's calling the actual animation a sketch. I haven't illustrated it super well, but the idea is that if you do that, it'll make it a little bit harder to tell that you are transforming it. So the main note that I think I have on this one is I feel like the perspective of the glass might be a little bit off. It feels a little bit like it's more this shape from above. I'm not exactly sure why. But that might be something just to look at. It shouldn't affect things until you get to the end bit here, really. You should be able to just adjust the top of that glass and not really tell in the animation until you get to the very end bit here where it settles. But in terms of the water animation itself, I think my only note is that it feels a little bit thick at the minute, the water. And I think the reason for that is that there's not enough variation perhaps in this stream coming in and pouring here. It feels very much like we're just kind of getting these shapes.
Manimamina says, well, I've never done water animation before, so that helped, but I find organic stuff really hard to do, and to cross-reference, pick what you can from different sources really helped as well. And they're saying they can see what you mean.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I agree. Looking at reference many different sources is a really good shout.
Yeah,
Because everything's so specific.
Because you can compare and contrast different sources to see what elements are similar in each, where the differences would be, and why those differences would be. Because a lot of effects animation is understanding forces.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a number of different sources of a water pour, there'll be different conditions for each of them, and you can observe what those different conditions, what effect that has on the water itself.
Yeah.
Like a faster flow rate, or a different shaped container, or different stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing?
I don't know.
Yeah, like it feels like here you could have a little bit more variation in the line. Sorry, in the stream, the shape of it as it comes in. Because at the minute it feels very much like it's all one thickness with these kind of pulses travelling along it, rather than more like a ribbon of water that kind of twists and turns. Like, I always like to think of it kind of like a ribbon in a way.
Okay.
Like there's almost a sides to it. Like water doesn't tend to pour perfectly cylindrically down.
Mm-hmm.
There tends to be like sheets of water.
Okay.
Various organic shapes. Like it twists and turns. I'll write that. Which is interesting. I wonder if there's ever a case where it would pour in a perfect cylinder. It's pretty consistent from the tap, even then.
I'm not sure. Like if you're pouring, it's coming out at an angle. If you've got a tap, it's coming from vertically up.
Yeah. Even from a tap, like there's often a weird shape when you see it come from a tap. Let's see. What was I going to say? What doesn't pour if something more ribbon-like? Yeah, there we are. Like this is off the top of my head, but I think when you like pour it from a tap, isn't it more like kind of comes out and flares at the top, and then almost like peters down? This is the part where it would be great to have some reference up of a tap pouring so we can see.
We can bring that up if you want.
Yeah, if you want to have a look at some. So I think that will help a lot. I like the way that you're using cross-hatching here to show the different, like the shading, having something behind. So yeah, I think maybe these are making it feel a little bit thick too, the shape of these rebounds. Again, rather than think like this, you want to think like more variance in the shape and thickness of everything. And you want to try and avoid things feeling symmetrical as much as possible. So I'll just put avoid symmetry, which I can definitely spell and definitely has two M's. Avoid symmetry and use, there we are, more organic shapes. If anyone like enjoyed this challenge enough to want to pursue doing more effects animation themselves, then I can recommend Elemental Magic, which is a great book. And it explains these principles I'm explaining much better than I'm explaining them.
Is that a book about effects animation?
It is, yes. It is. It's great. Lovely though. I really like the bubbles. I think that's a really nice touch. I think the soft shapes here at the edge as well are helping it to feel quite thick. I feel like if you wanted to thin those out, so that up here where it's meeting resistance and folding under itself, you get that kind of shape. But here where it's sloshing up against the side and pushing that way, it would thin out a little bit. Then it would feel less viscous.
Okay, so you're thinking that having that curved edge communicates how thick the liquid would be. So with water, it wouldn't. It'd be pretty thin.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with
no,
terms.
Yeah. Because here, if I do this in orange.
So on the left-hand side, there'd be resistance due to gravity, but on the
Yes.
right-hand side, there'd be less resistance because it's not having to push against a force acting against it.
Yeah, because here it's being pushed up by the stream because there's nowhere to go. So it's being pushed up into this corner, but it's meeting the resistance of both the side of the glass and the force of gravity pushing down on it. So you're getting this kind of curve where it's folding around itself. Whereas here, gravity is helping it to slosh downwards, and it's only going to start to like curve up here when it meets the side of the glass.
Gotcha.
The resistance there.
I just want to highlight the fact that Coffee Doodles has used our new love emote in the chat.
Yeah!
Woo!
Yeah, they got approved, guys.
Okay. Have some more. Thank you, Coffee Doodles. Thanks, Elaine.
It's nice to see them, honestly.
Okay.
Alter shape slightly. Okay, I think that's all the feedback I feel like I could give this one.
I think that's it. I think that's a good amount.
This is what maybe when I don't know anything about the types of animation we're doing, it's better because then my feedback is more prompt and succinct. But yeah, great job.
Elaine, no peer pressuring.
Yeah, do not be pressured. The great thing about the bits emote is that it's cumulative, so you don't have to like drop a ridiculous amount of bits on it to get it. You can just build it very, very slowly over time. Okay, shall we hop on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right.
I've been grabbing a few more. Of course.
I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream. I recognize this character. I like that this character has become kind of a staple of the Anime Morning Challenge now. Whenever Blah Blah Neeb enters the Anime Morning Challenge, we get a visit from Donut Boy again. What's he gonna do this time?
What's he up to?
He got a glass. Let's see what happens. Alright. Oh, that's great. So it's great that you did effects animation in 2D on top of the 3D. And I love the little bit at the end where I like this acting where they shake the glass to get water in it. And I love the bit at the end where they try to drink the water and it just goes straight through the middle. Quenched. That's the quenchiest. That's great. Oh, Doughboy, how we love you. So yeah, I can give a little bit of feedback to this, I think, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I have stuff I can say.
Yeah.
Thank you for another excellent entry, blah blah Neve. My week is not complete without this frosted friend.
With his jelly center.
Okay, so the biggest no that I can see is just symmetry. As in, you don't need it. Symmetry.
Give us that extra M.
I did. I had to look at it to be like, did I misspell it? I'm going to write in yellow because it's a bit easier to see on the green background. So try to keep things less symmetrical because it makes them feel more organic.
I've almost gathered all of the entrants.
Nice job, Mike.
Thank you.
So, so a great thing to remember in terms of animation is that straight lines generally, they generally describe speed and force, whereas curvier lines generally describe something more organic. So, with the water coming in here, because it's coming in so fast, you would probably have the sides of this be completely straight. Because I know that you're trying to depict the water through using the waviness, but because the force of the water is so great that it's basically blasting this poor friend in the face, the entire thing I think would be much straighter on the trunk side of it until it meets resistance here. And then, because of the sheer amount of force that it is hitting this poor person with, I would have the spray out be a little bit more extreme. And I would probably combine the straights with the curves for this. So where it meets the resistance, you would have this kind of seafoam spray come out. This sheet of water. You think of it like a cylinder. Then you can kind of figure out where it would meet the resistance there.
Every time you say that, I hear
Meet the resistance. Become part of the resistance today. La animation resistance.
Is it from a song or something? Meet the resistance. Like
yeah, it's a Game Grumps remix.
Yeah.
Join the resistance.
That's it.
Giancarlo will lead us.
That's it. That every time you say resistance, it's
we
like
just have to wait for him to be born.
Oh dear.
So I think that will straight lines. Let's see, straight lines show more force. So think it kind of like an impact frame. Force. The force awakens. So again, things are feeling very symmetrical just with the way that the water is kind of running off them a bit. You really want to think of it more like uneven volumes. So this is going to be hard for me to draw, but I'll give it my best. So if you think that the forces that are acting on this is gravity, we're gonna have the water already running down. I'm just trying to figure out how I would depict this. This is where the limit of my knowledge comes in.
Oli says not related to anything, but nice handwriting, Swift.
Oh, thank you.
I know, right? I have to give like notes to people as well, and I write and I'm like,
oh, damn.
This is a scrawl. I sometimes resort to just using type font face.
People say that to me, like,
you have
fairly
nice
often.
Handwriting.
Thank you. That's nice of you.
How?
I don't know. I don't know. I just write in caps.
You write in cats.
Caps.
Cats.
Meow. So yeah, what I'm trying to say.
Lady Amy, good Anna morning.
Good Anna morning, Lady Amy. Is that you kind of want to think of this as a volume that's being pushed outwards. Yeah. And it's going to be uneven. And then once you've figured out what the volume is, you kind of want to build your shape on top of that. And you want to make sure that it maintains the asymmetry, you know? So thinking of water more as a sheet. I've even made it a bit symmetrical there. There we go. So something more like this. If you can see the purple. I'm sorry if the purple is a bit hard to see on this. I thought it would be easier to see. We'll make it feel a little more convincing like water. You could even put like a little bit of foam around the edges, considering that they've been blasted in the face with it so hard that some parts of it have been excited up into foam. Because, like, when does foam happen with water? It happens when it meets hard resistance, generally, doesn't it?
When does foam happen with water?
Mm-hmm.
I think foam happens when, like, I think it's when water, like, meets resistance against itself.
Yeah.
Or, like,
Interesting.
it's being pushed away from a surface, maybe, and against the surface at the same time. So it,
mm-hmm.
like, it's almost friction against itself. But
interesting.
I don't know that for sure. That's an educated guess.
Okay.
For I am an educated bear.
I'm an educated man.
Let me look it up for you.
Okay, think about it as a 3D object / shape. There we go.
Why does water foam?
And then keep it uneven.
Here we go. I was wrong.
Oh.
When leaves, twigs, or other organic substances fall into water and begin decaying, they release compounds known as surfactants. This interaction breaks the surface tension, which in turn allows air to mix more easily with water and create bubbles. These bubbles congregate as natural foam. So it's air in the water.
Ah, of course it is. That makes sense. Yeah. So you could have foam here because the water is mixing with the air definitely here in the way that it would be distorting. That pause nice coming off screen. I like the spacing on that. I think the difficult bit is that if you're being sprayed in the face with water like this, there would probably end up being more water on the floor before it even pours down.
Yeah.
Because the water would be running off your friend here.
That's a sentence.
And creating a small pool. underneath where they stand, as well as just the general drips coming off. And again, with the drips, trying to keep the drips an uneven size to one another and spaced unevenly will help.
Without the context of the motion... Never mind.
What is it?
Just looking at I just came back to looking at this still frame. And if you didn't know that the water was pouring onto this donut gentleman...
You might think it was pouring out. I see what you're saying.
Doig, no! I'm sorry, Bish.
I see what you're saying. So, breaking these up a little bit. So that you have some which are big, some which are small, some which are a couple next to one another.
I want to have an image to post with this tweet. I'm tweeting about the Animorning Challenge.
Oh, okay.
And can I?
See, that will help it feel more watery as well, and less like kind of exclamation lines. You know, like when you're shouting something and you draw someone with kind of exclamation lines coming out of them to show that they're being loud. I think it's just the evenness that's making it kind of feel a little bit like that. So the uneven note I keep seeing things, which is great. Okay, so here when the water comes out, it feels a little bit like the water has a train that is dragging behind it. Whereas rather than being dragged out with the water, it would disperse and stay on the ground. It would essentially spread out until that volume has covered as much of the floor as it needs to in order for the volume to lay flat. So...
Yeah, like one thing I notice is that by treating the water as a 2D effect, to successfully integrate 2D with 3D, you need to like figure out what are the solid surfaces that your effect is interacting with. So I think what you're saying there is right, is that the water isn't dispersing out of a 2D plane, a frame. It's dispersing against the floor plane that the character is standing on. So it will go out in Z depth away from them. It won't go out to the bottom corners and like drain out of the frame.
Yeah.
I worked on a project a few years ago where I saw a similar thing with like the water dispersing was being treated like it was hitting the bottom of the frame and going kind of left and right.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think in 3D.
Yeah, you got to think about those floor planes and those horizon lines, and you got to know where your floor plane is. This is why grids are super important. Is knowing exactly like what's going on with that floor plane. It's going to really help you to figure out how the water would sit on it. Use my scratty grid.
I appreciate that in the dance challenge you used like water simulation for the first time, but for this you were like, well, I gotta animate the water, so you went a completely different way with this one. I really appreciate that you like added an offhand effect in the last one, but you do the same thing again this week. You're challenging yourself each week.
And that's how you're gonna get better and improve, is challenging yourself. Always. So yeah, the water would look so sad. The water would disperse across the floor here, rather than following... I can't spell. Ratter. Rather than following... I don't know, what would you call this? The stream? There we go. And then for this bit, I think the size of these water droplets coming out feel a bit even to one another. So again, I just vary the sizes a little bit. Vary sizes of drops. Make it feel more organic. So maybe you have this kind of thing, and then this instead. See, it's another quite thick feeling water. I think it might just be the brush that you used. But if you keep these shapes a little bit like thinner and more uneven, I think that will help it feel a little bit more watery and a little bit less viscous.
Yeah, I think it's the rounded shapes that's making it feel like the water is sticking together more.
Yeah, like the big rounded shapes make it feel like it's like you said, it's kind of amassing together in a glob. Like here, if we have the floor plane here, we probably want the floor plane to be roughly the same place on the other side. Otherwise it feels like it's kind of ballooning upwards.
Right, yeah.
And then it dispersed, nice dispersal. You got going on. So much water from this glass. Yeah, like this would work well though if you're thinking about this, like the screen is like a flat plane where you're almost like pouring water into two sheets of glass next to one another.
Yeah.
Then this works. It's just because you have this 3D floor plane going back that you would want the dispersal to happen like across the 3D floor plane. So remember your floor plane.
It keeps deleting your letters. Does
What
does it say remember your ground plane to you on your side locally?
Yes, what does it? What letters are I missing?
The Y of your.
Okay.
Weird. It might just be a sync issue. But yeah.
It might be that I'm writing a bit too fast. And then, huh! Oh, I kind of love that it's a love heart though.
Let the water hit the floor. Let the water hit the
floor.
Nice.
But yeah, for this, just the same thing. Again, I'd say same notes, which is just watch your two droplets being too even in shape and size, and bear your ground plane in mind when it hits.
Yeah.
So by the end, this donut boy should have like should be completely just water everywhere.
Palbro, hello. Thank you for raiding. How are
Hey,
you all doing?
Palbro, how are you?
Art Venture, nice.
Aww.
You've caught us in the midst of our Anna Morning challenge.
Yeah. Woo!
Welcome. Stick your hand up if you've not been here before, and I'll give you the spiel.
Hey, thank you.
Oh, thanks for the gifted sub, 7th.
7th Chords, thank you so much.
I hope Just the Jen appreciates your generosity. We do. So we're just having a look at Blah Blah Neeb's entry to the Anna Morning challenge. This last week's challenge was to animate water, like a water effect. We'll play it through for you so you can appreciate the glory that is this donut gentleman.
Yes, let me take the notes off so that you can see it without them.
Yeah, go for the hit. Yeah, there you go.
The posing super fun too. I like the head snap back when the water hits. Ah! It's so good. Oh, nice work, blah blah Neeb. And super cool to see 2D and 3D paired up like that. They're such good dance partners. Alright, let's jump on to the next one.
Alrighty.
We have Laurie Solik. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
I think so. Like Loris Solik is the way I would say it.
Okay, Loris Solik. Let's
Maybe
have
it's
a look.
Solich, I don't know.
Oh. Oh no.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love this. Nice use of loops as well.
Yeah.
I really like this pose at the end on them. Where because they're like a hair monster, the hair is just like splayed out everywhere.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really clever.
Like you can see there is the feeling of a 3D plane here because of the way they have the water dispersed around.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see that, like, you know, the horizon's going to be like maybe here or something. So let's see. So nice use of loops here. I like this. Nice and simple. Nice use of loops.
Parapakama, I regret not finishing the first animation I did for the challenge. I did something simpler thinking I can't do it, but I did it without many problems.
You did it!
Yeah, cool.
Nice job!
I believe I've grabbed yours, so it'll be coming up.
I would say that I think this frame, if it's rain that you're going for, then I think this frame wouldn't potentially be there. Unless it's like the water's being held above and then slamming down. I think you just want to cycle these two over and over.
There was a point where there was like a lot of water at the top flashing. I noticed.
Yeah, I think that's this bit.
Gotcha.
Let's see, maybe keep rain to loop. Having water at the top here. What is it?
I need to grab Elaine's coffee mug. Elaine, do you have a like a movie version? Whoa. What the fuck?
Whoa! 7th chords? Holy guacamole! 7th chords. Holy bagels! Thank you so much! Was that to get the emote? Thank you a million!
Chords,
whoa, chords! We really appreciate it, thank you! Wow!
Whoa!
Wow! That's the most bits anyone ever had! What do the bits mean? Emlet, bits translate to real world human currency. And 10,000 bits is about $10?
No.
So 1,000 bits is about $10.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
So 5,000 bits is $50.
The reason I was like, no, is because I didn't want someone to be like, I'll give them $10. And
Oh,
then
jeez.
that was
my ploy. You've seen through it.
that was. I know I can be a pedant sometimes for things that you say, but that was like a genuine like, no, don't.
Yeah.
That they need to know the accurate numbers.
That's fine. That makes sense. 7 chords, you only seem to have unlocked that one. You should have both. They both got approved, right, Mike?
I believe so. I just used it. Let me.
Wowzers.
Perhaps need to refresh. Yeah, they're. No. Can I refund you if it hasn't worked?
Has it not worked?
Let me check for you. It's like it vanished.
What the heck? Michael, investigate.
It's. As I was saying, yeah, Coffee Doodle, can you get me a video version of your coffee mug, Anim? Is that possible? Palbro coming in with an entry. Show sewing.
Did you figure out what's going on with the bit emotes?
Let me have a look.
Yeah, I don't want 7th Chords' bits to be for nothing after they've just used so many of them. Yeah, so it looks like maybe what happened is you just drew this as an anticipation for the next frame, like this is first frame of the next frame's movement, and it just got caught up in the cycle by accident, maybe. But yeah, in terms of this shape, again, I would push for more variants. More variants of shape. This character is so cute.
Let me see if it's registered you as. It says there's one viewer at that tier, so it's recognized your authority.
You recognize my authority.
So I think you got it. I think you unlocked it.
So why is it not showing up?
I'm not sure. Yeah, you're there. I can't see it tell me your name.
Is the remote's still on the list for us though, right?
Yeah, it's still. Other people are seeing 7th use it.
Oh really? Huh.
That's weird.
Let me look in chat. I'm looking for it. Have you tried? I'm assuming you've tried refreshing. That process also is inexcusable by uploading my water animation in the Discord. Unforgivable, pal bro. Oh, inexcusably late. You did refresh. That's so strange. What's going on? What's going on with them? Like, it's in the list for me, but it says it's locked.
Right.
Yeah, can you put the emote in chat again, Mike? So we can all see. So it's present.
It lives. Time to move the mixer.
Oh yeah, because Seventh is typing it right now.
Yeah.
What? It's at that tier though, isn't it? It says for me in the chat itself, like in the little emote thing, cheer an additional 5,000 bits to unlock the emote.
Yeah.
What is going on? Twitch's bench.
It unlocked the other one.
Huh.
That's weird, and I'm really sorry.
Let's see if it works like tomorrow, and if it doesn't, then we will send you bits back.
Yeah.
Because that should be enough time. If there's something weird with the system, that should be enough time for it to come back through. And if it doesn't, then we know that something has gone wrong. Something has gone terribly wrong.
7th cards, just anytime you want to use it, just let me know and I'll type it in the chat for you.
I don't think that's quite as fun.
I'll simulate the experience.
I don't think that's quite what 7th Claws was hoping for. Though I appreciate it, Mike. So yeah, I was just saying for this to uneven the shape a little bit more. And then we have this, which is looking good. I don't have many problems with this. I think that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. My favorite. Hey, Thor Hulk, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 7th Claws, thank you for all those Doig Bear hearts.
I have a similar laugh to Clay. Cool. Who's Clay from listening to the animation podcast?
Clay
forever?
Catus.
Really? Who's
Hey! He's an animator. He's a very good animator.
that? Oh, cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, grabbing this one from Palbro.
See, so think as a...
You guys are going
You're
nuts.
right, my friend. Hey, Kurzek! Oh, thank you for the gifted sub. To Ola as well, thank you so much. Wow, Palbro! You earned a 1k bits badge. That's awesome. Thank you. Did Palbro put some bits in?
I think you did just now, yeah?
Oh, Palbro, thanks so much. It didn't show up for me on mine, but I was like, if you've got a badge, you must have done something. Habbo's posting in the peg bar the hype train because it's at 69%. Nice, Habbo. So let's see. I think it's a 3D volume.
Okay, let me see if Elaine has... Not yet, but I'm watching for your thing, Elaine. Watching.
So what I mean by this is that it's impacting the ground and it's impacting the umbrella here. Hype? Hype, hype? I thought, thank you for the bits. Aw.
Oh, they've hype trained again.
The hype train.
Calm down. Shh.
It cometh.
No.
It arriveth.
Everybody just make your way along to the cafeteria. The what was it called? The food cart? Food train? Food cart?
What, in a train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dining cart. Just head to the dining cart. Chill. Get a can of Coke. It's okay. You don't. No. We're trying to do animation challenge stuff.
Are you trying to discourage people
Yes.
from hyping? Can't stop the hype train, Michael. You can't stop the hype train.
So what were you saying, India? Ignore them. Ignore them.
Ignore them. All these lovely people giving us support.
You're right, my friend.
I know, Sonic. I know I'm right. Eva Studio says, choo choo, motherfucker. Oh, wow. Level 2. Thank you. A true Phoenix King, thank you so much for gifting the sub. Congratulations, Petra Leong. You have gained a sub.
I also want to say thank you to... Okay, I'm going to do shout outs.
Thank you,
Oh my gosh,
Kurzek.
I keep forgetting. So,
Kurzek, you got the heart emote.
shout out to 7th Cards for that amazing amazing contribution to attempt to unlock the thing, which I hope
Yes, thank
actually
you
works.
so much.
But you should all check out 7th Cards. They stream really wonderful stuff. They're really friendly, really welcoming. The community that surrounds 7th is like really cool. A lot of which you're here
Yes.
because 7th and by extension Palbro have been so supportive. Go check them out. Also go check out Halbro.
Right, my friend.
They stream usually later at night than we do, as in earlier than we are, because they are champions of the night.
You're right, my friend.
And
Cause I ran out of level 1 hyper mode, so I'm trying to pass level 2 time.
because it ran out of level 1 hyper, I'm
Oh
trying
my
to level
gosh.
2.
You guys,
Okay.
thank you so much for the cheers. Holy guacamole. Thank you very much, Kurzek. Thank you, Habo, for the cheer as well. You're right, my friend. Thank you, Samrania. And thank you, Thor Hulk. Aw. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And an anonymous cheerer. Thank you, we really appreciate it. Wowzers, level 3 already. Jeez, oh, guys. You guys are amazing. Oh, the feedback I'm giving, I'm gonna just annotate this feedback because otherwise no one's gonna know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that at the minute it kind of feels like you have these really nice splashes coming out of the side of this water here, but there's none of them coming around the front. Whereas if you think in 3D, in regards to where you're impacting the ground, you can get some of those coming in the front as well to really like sell that impact,
You're right,
make
my
it
friend.
make it feel
Bird needed tongue.
make it feel 3D, you know. Get some of that happening at the front as well, so that you really feel like it's bouncing off a plane here. So get some of those splashes around the front. Whoops, I forgot the H in those. It's amazing how when you're trying to give feedback and you're trying to write super fast, letters just go missing.
El Santi, uncool. Don't just spam your own link.
El Santi, you should know better than that.
Etiquette, my sir.
El Santi, I believed in you. You will get no complimentary hot chocolate from the dining cart.
Sorry, I love that blah blah Neeb's retaliation is just to post our link back at them. I love your sense of humor.
A good retaliation.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so it's not very well drawn, but you get the gist of what my note is here, and hopefully you'll be able to draw it better than I have.
So you're just sort of suggesting more kind of a jagged, edged almost thing, like having the water break apart at the peaks.
I'm actually suggesting that they bring the splashes around the front as well.
Oh, I see.
By figuring out what the ground plane is, so that the splashes aren't only at the side. So let me clarify that a little bit.
An anonymous gifter.
An anonymous gifter?
Are they actually?
Oh, thank you so much for gifting the sub to Parifakama. That's so nice of
Thank you.
That's really cool. We appreciate it greatly. So this is the note I'm trying to give. You know, maybe this would have been a better way to give it from the beginning. It's just doing a doodle off to the side. But rather than this.
Are the
So
stream
rather than-
events only playing in my speakers?
Oh, what? You mean like the shut up tails and stuff?
Yeah.
I can definitely hear it, but that's because... Oh my gosh, hype train success, you guys did it!
What the
Wow,
fudge?
level 2 completed, thank you guys so much. Wow. You're amazing! You guys are amazing! Look at these emotes that are being delivered to supporters.
What is this one?
They are some emotes. It's the hype brain. Wow.
Oh, Hype Brain's pretty
Hype
great.
ship is pretty cool. I like that. Hype zap is pretty awesome. Chill.
So the emote sounds aren't actually playing into the stream. They should be.
Time to figure out what's going on with our stream. Time for those good old technical difficulties.
Oof. Is that our first ban? Did they do it again?
Goodness gracious. Sort of nice thinking in volumes. Nice thinking in volumes. You see how they have this kind of sheet come up here? Like the majority of the water has rebounded off the floor and it's come up in this sheet. So you can kind of see this this bowl shape that's been created by the water here. Super nice. And then we have it disperse. This is all really nice. I love this overlap here, showing the different layers of water. Lovely overlap. In terms of the drawing, rather than the animation. It kind of feels like the water here is landing behind. Let's see. Whoop. Whereas I think you're probably wanting it to land more in the center. Just because of where it landed to begin with in the animation.
Oh, thanks for the follow. Welcome,
So,
welcome.
You might want it to land more like this. In here. Amongst the foam. It's really nice. Lovely with the bubbles. Great way to show that you're underwater. And then we have this drainage happening. Let's see. I like the way that the waving is happening from side to side here. That's nice. It maybe feels like at this point the water is so close to the ground that you probably wouldn't be getting these side to side bulges anymore. Because you see your ground plane is pretty much here. It's what I'm seeing from like the way that the hair is sitting on the ground. Like this is what I'm seeing as being your ground plane. And so at this point the water is pretty much on the ground. So it feels a little bit odd that it's still like blooming upwards like that. So the waves slash bulges feel like they should have flattened out. So if I step through, ba, 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 ba. So we get this nice wave coming over here, and then that wave would probably continue going out, and this would start to flatten here onto your ground plane and disperse outwards. So that's matching that ground plane there, you see? So you'd probably see some of the ground plane in the background here as well. Oops. This is where I meant to do that on. So, but remember ground plane. Because at the minute, similar to Blah Blah Neebs, the water kind of feels like it's only running off at the sides here, as if it's between two sheets of flat glass rather than spreading out across the floor like it would.
I like the additional of like surface shapes to give you an indication of like sea foam on the top.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can see that it's following like the curvature a little bit, but I do agree that like the wave is traveling only in like one direction.
Yeah, lovely surface shapes. Alright. Really nice. Nice way to describe the form.
Christopher MC, that is the best way to make sure to like Christopher MC is asking, does anybody work with a perspective grid behind their animation to try and help maintaining the plane or some other way? Now that's it. Like placing down a grid lets both you see and also communicate to anyone viewing what your intended perspective or floor plane is.
Yeah, it means you can't cheat it, you know. So it's a really good exercise to do to work with grids. I would always a thing which really helped me is I would, whenever I did animation exercises, I would download a background from Google from an existing animated production just to give my characters a sense of place, and it meant that I felt like I had like a solid environment to work from, and grids give you the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a way of like, if you're not completely certain about perspective, it lets you start to animate while thinking about the space earlier than trying to like figure out perspective first and then apply it to your animation. But I think once you start using that for a bit, understanding your own perspective lets you creatively expand how you can animate a variety of shots from your own imagination if you're not tethered to having to find backgrounds. Yeah.
Like grids are great. I would definitely suggest them, because in animations like this, when you have a character that is very obviously on a ground plane, it's going to help a lot to know where you should put your water.
Also, finding backgrounds is a good way of like inspiring actions that your character can take, because like there might be something in the background that gives you an idea. You're like, oh, I remember you animated a dinosaur walking through a forest.
Yeah.
And you had the dinosaur have to like go under a tree branch in the background to get to their objective, which was a roast chicken.
Yeah.
But that background element inspired that movement because you had to have them go from one point to another.
Yeah. It just helps you to, because otherwise I default to animating my character in a white void flat to the camera every time. So, you know, there's a limit to how much you can really flex your muscles there, because you want to practice moving characters about in perspective, you know?
You just choked on your cider. Oops.
Get it inside her. Get that cider inside her.
Get that insider. I hardly knew her.
Think about how the water would disperse on the ground plane.
Everyone is reacting badly to your joke.
Hey, I didn't mean it in any weird bad way. I always say that when I have a cider. I'm like, let's get this cider in cider. Oh no.
Can confirm.
I say bad stuff a lot that I don't mean to be any kind of weird or sexual.
Oh yeah. If any of you have seen a particular episode,
I'm like skilled in the art of innuendos, mistaken innuendos.
unintentional innuendos. Unintendio.
That's my superhero name.
Like there's one episode in the Dream Daddy Let's Play that India's doing where like she's just went out on a date with Robert and she's just come back and she's like learned all these whittling skills and she's just like, I'm so hard right now, and I'm just like, what? And she's like,
I meant like tough because I learned whittling skills.
And you went out on a spooky date.
Yeah.
Robert.
Robert. Okay, let's head on to the next Anna Morning challenge.
Yay!
This is from Shanarelle. Thank you for submitting, Shanarelle.
Thank you.
Yeah, 7 chords. I know a ton of people who are like, oh, I'm well hard, innit? It just means you're tough. You're rough. You got the good stuff.
There has to be some connotations, though. It has to be.
Ooh. This is fun. I like this. It's nice to see something overflowing. The glass doth overfloweth. Very nice, especially this bit where it first starts to pour over and we get that slow ease.
You have that break in surface tension at that point.
Yes.
Of the liquid.
Liquid. Snake. Liquid. What?
Are you just Metal Gearing?
Liquid.
You Metal Gearing over there.
Snake. I am.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, notes I could give on this. Let's see. It feels really nice. I like it. I like the way that the bubbles get pulled along with the motion. I like you showing that this is where the pour is happening because of the bubbles.
So action reaction.
Yep, bubbles show pour. Cool. One of the notes I could give is the stream up here doesn't have much variance. It's very much the same shape, but on a boil. More variance. Oh.
Are you able to write on like further than the frame, or does it only let you write where there's video?
It only lets you write where there's video.
Okay, good to know.
So you see how the shape is very like even all the way along?
Pablo says Tib said that pouring water doesn't carry much variance in real life.
My goodness, Tib. Is that so?
So it's like, is it just like following
like...
the path of least resistance?
Yeah.
Where it can go?
I guess so. Tib is the effects expert here, so definitely take her advice above mine in these matters.
Where is she, huh? Where?
Tib, where are you?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Tib.
Let's see. This is really nice. I like being able to see the rim of the glass as well. I think that's a nice touch. So here, this water here. You see it starts to travel along in this direction.
Take care of Mananamimina.
Take care, Mananamimina. Hello from the VOD. Hello from the VOD space. Welcome back.
1 minute 35.
We were waiting for you in the VOD space all along.
Aha, we expected you here.
See how this water travels along here? Well, it would continue that. probably into this. So the movement here would join onto this larger string. Rather than, it feels like the minute like this strip starts to come down and then kind of shifts off to the side. Whereas it would probably help to bulk this bit up because it would flow into this larger string. So it would probably be slightly more like this. So I'm just going to write shape flows.
Oh, the apple doesn't fall far away from the tree saying is from that stick, that splinter in Spanish. Interesting.
I'm sorry, what?
A Spanish expression of the idea behind the apple doesn't fall far from the tree is that stick, that splinter, which is like, that is a splinter from that stick, therefore it is similar to that stick and akin to it.
Oh, interesting.
Uh-huh.
That's so cool.
So how would you say that in Spanish?
The more you know.
Okay, I'm gonna get my head into what you're doing now.
Get your head in the game. Get your head in the game. Go on, tell them.
May 23rd will forever be the anniversary of Starlight Brigade and the day that I watched High School Musical.
I've made Mike watch High School Musical with me. He got his head in the game, guys. Lovely.
The acting in that is so horrible.
It's great though, I love it. It's cheesy, corny fun.
What do you mean, who was my favorite character?
What do you mean? What do they mean? Who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite character, Mike?
The ball. It's in every shot. The basketball.
The ball, yeah, Wilson is there. He made it through the entire movie. I like Ryan Sharpay's brother. There was a consensus also that Piano Girl is the cutest girl.
One of the characters has to be less terrible than the others. Oh no, I know who my favorite character is.
Yeah?
It's the composer girl.
Yeah.
Because she's cute.
Because she's cute. Not so much her character, but just her appearance, she's cute.
No, like all of her mannerisms, like she's cool.
Like when she cried and ran away because...
Yeah.
Felt a little bit overdramatic to me at that point.
Yeah, but she turns back up like nothing happens.
Yeah, she did.
Sorry, we can't get... You can't...
Sorry, it's High School Musical spoilers. Thor says this is true, she's the best thing in every single one of those movies. Eva Arstudio says, I guess you were having a ball in time.
This started because I said, okay, I'm going to get back into what you're doing on the stream with the...
Look, you brought up High School Musical.
No, I didn't.
You did. You'd said that Starlight Brigade anniversary will forever be the day that...
You said get your head in the game.
I did, and then that was all I was going to say.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, those are my very few notes, because I really like this. Like, I'm not sure how I would be able to do a better job of this. And since my expertise is knowledge, my knowledge is limited on this. This is probably the best I can do for you, I'm afraid.
I think I would keep some sort of more transparent indication of the top rim of the glass. Because the water wouldn't be opaque. And that's it, really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do a little note saying, keep top rim showing.
Oh, Catarel is Shanarel. Thank you so much for participating.
Hey! Thank you very much. Lovely work. Let's see, keep top rim showing. It's nice.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
So my main notes were just to make sure that when the water is pouring out here, the shapes are flowing into this larger shape, so that it feels like the path of least resistance is being followed by the water. Because at the minute it kind of feels like on these frames, this curve here is going backwards rather than flowing into the larger stream. So I think just showing that a little bit clearer that that's where it's going would really help. Like that this is like suspended in midair, this glass. You could show some flowing around the other side if you wanted. It'd be pretty fun.
I should watch Bad Lip Reading's iteration of Gotta Get It Your Head in the Game named Bouncy Ball.
Oh, we should! That sounds brilliant!
Okay.
Oh, I want to see that. Show water around back. That sounds great.
I also, Sanrini, I caught your message. You're really kind. You're too kind.
Is
Thank
Sanrania
you.
being super, super nice?
Yes, yeah.
Sanrania, thank you.
And hello, crow
Crowmail! Stamps! Hey, how are you? It's been a long time.
From 7th card says, my expertise is knowledge, is power, is money, is time, is money.
That's exactly it. That's just what I was trying to say.
From India.
That's great. Oh man. Okay. We'll move on to the next Anna Morning challenge. Have a look. So this is Anthony Wyatt. Thank you, Anthony, for submitting an Anna Morning challenge. Let's do it. Ooh.
Can you search for a specific Twitch clip on a channel by name? Oh, I'm not sure. What are you looking for, Animatunings?
This one has a nice flow to it. I see what you did there, blah blah Neeb. Yeah, this is nice. I like this loop. I particularly like this bit just at the top here. Let me keep it playing. Top right overlaps the rock.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see the water playing in an environment, interacting with it. I think my main note for this one that I can give you, the thing I can say that will be helpful, is that at the minute everything is moving at the same time. Whereas with water, and well, anything else, there's going to be an overlap in the action. So the wave will start here. And then we'll travel forwards. So think of it like ripples, in that they travel outwards and disperse. So when you have a ripple, you don't just have all the ripples happen at the same time. They push each other and react to one another. So rather than all the waves peaking at the same time, probably the ones further back would peak first, and then the ones further forward would peak later.
I mean, if this was waves hitting like a shore, then you'd have two motions. You'd have waves over the top that are coming in to land, and the water receding underneath as well. I'm just thinking about waves. I'm not saying anything against what you're saying.
No,
I'm just thinking about it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying in terms of this animation.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is a rocky coast.
Yeah.
So something about it where I feel like some sense that the water is pulling back somewhere. Like if in one area the wave is cresting, in another area it's kind of pulling back, would be a nice way to offset all the waves peaking at the same time.
Yeah, that's nice. Like at the minute, the direction that I'm seeing the water go in is this direction.
Yeah.
Like following the waves.
Yeah.
This seems to be the direction. This direction is the direction of the waves. So maybe overlap that movement. Overlap and offset. So that they don't all crest at the same time. So for example, here we have probably the crest is like here. So you would have like these still back here, while these are like cresting more.
Gotcha.
Let me flatten these ones out at the front, so it's more obvious what I'm saying. Crest more.
Oh, we're familiar with seagulls.
Yes, we are. I love seagulls.
Seventh Core says, the direction is the direction of the correction from the expertise is the knowledge of the power is the time is the money.
It's the women. Then that movement will push forwards. So generally it's just about making it feel less even and less like everything is happening at the same time. If you offset these movements so that things crest in the back first, maybe over this rock, and then that pushes this row forward, and that pushes this row forward, and that pushes this row forward, etc, etc.
Cool.
I think what you were saying, Mike, is that you were wanting there to be like maybe some push up against the rocks a little bit. Was that what you were?
Not necessarily, no. No, I was just trying to remember what I knew about wave theory. Not wave theory.
You were
just
saying
like,
if it were to push in and pull under in different places.
yeah.
So.
But I don't understand that enough to critique this.
Okay.
With it, sadly.
So I'll just put maybe. Whoops. Let me put that in purple so you can see it.
No, I said wave theory and I was like, I don't mean wave theory.
Wave theory. Maybe add some foam.
Maybe more like wave mechanics, because the reason you have the expression rolling waves is because you have the top volume of water going forward and you have the bottom of the water going backwards.
Like surfing.
Yeah, so that's why you get that rolling motion of the water, is that like one is hitting and it's like rolling over each other.
Yes.
I
hope I haven't dropped any letters. There we go. So maybe add some foam and kick ups where the water pushes up against rocks. I think that could be fun.
Yeah, something showing that those two surfaces, two materials are meeting would be really fun.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're on to the next one.
Yeah, lovely. I like the gradient you've added too. That's nice. It almost makes it feel like it's getting more shallow over here because I feel like I can almost see the sand underneath.
So I'm about to Inari Mountain you.
Inari Mountain, maybe?
Yeah, you remember we saw the map at the beginning of the Inari Shrine mountain walk, and we're like, this seems doable, and then we got halfway up and they showed you the rest of the map.
Oh.
Well, you were on the last one of the list here, but I've gathered more. Okay,
one sec. The way the water interacts with the environment. I'm just giving the compliment here that like I like the way it overlaps the rock. Like it's nice to see it interacting with the environment. Interact with the environment. Okay, let me give a refresh. Great work, everyone, so far. Wowzers.
Let me also do a refresh.
Yeah, awesome stuff, guys. So cool to see so many people taking on these challenges. I hope you guys are learning stuff from them. Oh, what is this? This looks cool. It's some kind of space doohickey.
Okay, hang on. Enable synced playback. Okay, I think I'm in sync with you again now.
Okay, let's do it.
So this is from for MC.
Thank you. So is this underwater? It must be.
I'm interpreting this as a craft going over
Going
the surface
over
of water
water.
because of that shadow.
Gotcha. I thought it might be on the bottom of the water. As in the seabed.
But that's also a possibility.
It is also a possibility. Okay, I see. So this is water spray coming up.
Yeah.
I see.
Nice choice.
Yes. I like this. This is cool. I like the composition here. So, a couple of things that I could call out that I think will help you push it up even more. So, the perspective, it feels kind of like the perspective is meeting in a different place at the end of the tail and where you have your speed lines.
Are you able to draw lines in Sync Sketch?
No. Well, yes, but not straight lines, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. They need to add that because that would be a good tool.
Yeah, it would be. Because it feels like the origin point for your speed lines is like maybe just off screen up here. Boop, boop. But it feels like the sea spray is ending around here. So I think if you were to bring your sea spray back like this into the corner, then it would feel more like it was going along the same vanishing point as the speed lines. So I'll just put keep trail to same vanishing point. Oh. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's a good point.
Heck yeah. And then the other thing that I could say is I think the reason it didn't read immediately to me as water is because I think the shapes are very round. And the roundness of the shapes remind me more of smoke billowing than they do of water.
Gotcha. So rather than this kicking up water, you were seeing it as being air pockets being like made underwater.
Yeah, like the
Gotcha.
dust and lint from the bottom of a seabed being kicked up by something traveling at high speed underwater.
Gotcha.
Which would create more of this kind of effect. But if it's on top of the water, then I think you just want to get a bit more spikiness into there. To show the trail. Because the water probably wouldn't spiral around like smoke would. Because it's too heavy, it would be acted on gravity far sooner, I think.
Yeah.
You can correct me if I'm wrong there, Mike.
Oh, I think
If
you're
Tib's in the
correct.
chat, then she can also correct me if I'm wrong. So I think you just want to get some more spikiness in there. Like, you've got a nice basis here to work with already. But like, really showing that force of propulsion.
Yeah, and as we learned earlier, sea foam and foam in water is created when the surface tension of the water is broken apart more and air fills it. So I think we would see a lot more of that.
Of sea foam.
Yeah, just the water foaming.
One thing which is really nice that you can do if you have a trail like this, and you have a loop, is you can show that once the water's been kicked up, it falls back down and pushes outwards. So you get these really nice, like, wavy trails of sea foam.
Like the wake behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After. Which is really nice. So wake pushes out.
which allows you to show the effect of the force of the craft over a distance, so that you can see the immediate thrust and power is closer to the craft, but it'll dissipate outwards, which gives you a nice sense of that your craft is making, like, it is speeding forwards, where you can see the effect of it trailing behind it.
Yeah. Let's see. Shapes feel a little too rounded overall.
See you, Oli.
See you, Ola. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Have a great day and best of luck with anything that you're up to today. Best of luck with your work.
If I've missed it, let me grab it.
And then I think what you could do is you could have, let me see. Hold on. I know you can't see my screen, but I'm just googling. I'm just googling some reference so I can see what I'm talking about.
No, here it is. I got it.
What is it?
Phoenix King's animation I need to grab. You'll like it. It's got character animation in it.
Oh.
Thank you for letting me know.
Oh, this is cool. I found a compilation of pilots flying super duper low.
Oh, cool. You're finding reference.
Yeah, so I can see what a kick up on water would look like.
Good call.
What is it?
Seventh card was like Doig Swift adds like the love heart to the end of their message. I'm just laughing because I was adding it for seventh.
Unfortunately, this is a long compilation and I can't seem to find the exact one that I saw in the thumbnail.
Oh man.
Yeah. But I can tell you one thing that I've learned. One thing I have learned!
Can you link the reference material that you found into the chat for people?
Okay, yeah, I'll link the one that I was looking at. I was looking at the thumbnail of this, so you guys can look at the thumbnail and see what I'm talking about, basically. So...
There's Tib. Welcome,
Hey,
Tib.
Tib. So, what I'm noticing is that you tend to have... When it flies super fast over the water, it creates a crater in the water down the center line of where it flies, which kicks the water out to either side. So you get these two like sheets of water being kicked up either side of it. that makes sense. You just put the crest at the top here so you can see it easier.
Damn.
What is it?
Remember I said I was going to fix the alert signs.
Did you fix them?
I broke them further.
Oh, nice job. Great stuff, Mike. The withering look you just gave me. So if I draw like a slightly clearer diagram here. Like this. There we go. So water is kicked up. In 2 sheets. Either side. It doesn't, it has a H. Either side of the train. So the craft kind of hollows out a cylinder in the middle as it speeds past. That pushes the water to either side.
Gotcha.
Up and out. Which means they get flung out sideways. And that's what then creates the wake. Afterwards too, because they'll get flung out sideways. And then create the wake as they settle afterwards. Into the water. So I think if you add a bit of that in there, then I think that would look super cool. Like an asteroid trail. I guess so. An Eve Art Studio. Thank you for the Chromel. Ah! Ah! It's a Chromel for Doig! Specifically for Doig.
For me? For
yeah,
more?
from Eve Art Studio. Eve Art Studio says, Twitch is being buggy today. You're doing your best, Doig. We acknowledge that.
Oh, thank you.
Ah!
Thanks.
Heck yeah. Buffy is just lazing out. But I think that will really help. If you think of it like 2 sheets going out at 45-degree angles from one another. And if you sharpen up some of the edges of these, because this would work really well. If it was going over land, I think this would work really well. But for water specifically, I think you want your shapes to be like less even, sharper, and to think of them in terms of sheets rather than, I guess, spheres. Great job, though. Thank you very much, Christopher MC. It's a very cool shot. I could imagine this being like, I don't know, in a James Bond film or something, you know? The music cannot be heard by chords, says Seventh Chords.
Really?
Oh, song ended, new song is hearable, says Palbro.
Oh, okay.
That's good to know. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look at the next one. Oh, we got some water bending going on.
Whoa!
We got some water bending. Let me just... This is Peach Dust. Thank you, Peach Dust, for this Anna Morning submission. This is real nice. I like this a lot. So things I could try and help out with in terms of giving you some stuff to think about. Let's see. I like this where like we see this overlap at the top.
Yeah.
I think you could continue that on a little bit more in some of your earlier bits. Like you have this nice overlap starting just here, and then you could continue that on here.
Almost like giving your water shape a contour or an edge. Like I think what you were describing earlier about ribbons applies here.
I think so too. I remember to keep the same amount of I'm not going to say meat, the same amount of volume in your water. So it can thin out or thicken out, but it's always going to be around the same amount. So like here the tail might come around. And then we want to maintain that gap, because even though it's going into a cylinder, it's about to whiz into a cylinder, we still want it to be clear that this is like the same body of water. And then we get this nice wrap into itself, which is super cool.
Tib says, liquid water tends to have multiple states, and working with it as a large mass, then sheets, strings, and then drops is a nice way to break it up.
I'm just going to read that again in the chat. Oh, that's nice. That's a good way to think about it, yeah. A large mass, then sheets, strings, then drops. That's awesome.
So the large mass
Great
would be
advice.
establishing like the silhouette of your motion.
Yeah.
And then, what do you mean by a sheet?
Like I was talking about in the last one, where two sheets would be kicked up either side.
Right,
Like,
okay.
water tends to travel. It doesn't travel in like spherical blobs. It travels in like sheets.
So like where the strongest force is like the peak of the sheet, you're saying. Gotcha. Cool.
Like if I were to throw a bucket of water at you, you wouldn't be hit by a blob of water.
Yeah.
You'd be hit by like the parts of the wall which travel faster forward would form the front of the sheet, and the rest would follow behind. So you'd be hit by like a.
Right, gotcha. Is it like, by sheet, are you meaning like fabric draped over a ball, a small ball?
I'm thinking more like a sheet of paper.
Okay. Okay. I'm with you. Cool.
Like you can see it very clearly. If you want to have a look at water sheets, you can see it very clearly if you drop a large rock into a pool or find reference of someone doing that. The rock will go in and it pushes the water out.
Yep.
But the water doesn't come out in like waves or blobs. It comes out in sheets that are kicked up.
Okay.
So let's see. I didn't mean to put that on there. So I'm just trying to figure out how to resolve this back bit here with it. So I think that would continue going round a little bit. So you might just need to take a little bit more time to perhaps get into a ball. Let me see. Yeah, and then you could bring that over like that. Yeah, so that would continue this tail bit here that I'm following. Oh man, I wish I could delete the sketches. Hold on, let me just change the setting. So okay.
Tibbs recommends dropping a rock off a bridge. Best way to find splash reference.
Good reference. Yeah. So following this tail around here, I'm gonna try. Oh, should I try? Yeah, deleting the current sketch. I think I can. I'm so scared about. Do you think if I press delete the current sketch, it will delete my sketch, or it will delete the movie, Mike?
It won't delete the movie, I don't think.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. I can clear up. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm following this tail around here is what I was saying.
Okay.
And that tail would continue to go back and whip around. But this front bit, which I will do in a different colour. This front bit would continue to come forward. And you could thicken that up like you're doing here. So I'd start to bring in
He's not gonna get away with this!
the extra bits to make up the circle. In this as you're thickening it up.
Rebecca Chan, thank you for the raid.
Oh, thank you so much for the raid.
Welcome, welcome. We're looking through Animorning Challenge entries from various animators that have animated water effects for Animorning Challenge. Right now we're looking at Peach Tests. They've been doing some water bending. How are you doing? How was your stream?
So sheets. Thin. And flatten out. So rather than the volume just increasing, if you think of it like the sheet is spreading out thinner. So looking at this red bit, the head of it is coming over, and then the body, we're seeing it start to flatten out.
Hey Rebecca.
And wrap around.
Thanks for raiding. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for the raid. Yeah. And then you can have the back part continue to do its thing and also flattening out behind it. There we go. One thing I think would be really nice during this bit is to communicate that this is basically a hollow ball of water at the minute, because the entire surface level is this kind of water that's whipping around at a high speed, almost.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to show a few gaps in it, I think.
Oh.
Where you're like, maybe the front bit has a slight gap in it, and you get to see like the back of it whipping around too. Like that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
I think could be really nice.
To really communicate that that there's this central force.
Yeah.
In the middle. That's cool.
To like communicate.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
I think it'll add a bit of variance. Because there's not enough mass in the water for it to become a ball of water like that. So you know it has to be that the surface is spreading out and whipping around and creating this shape on the exterior. So take advantage of that. And show breaks, which I can spell, breaks in the sheet of water. To the other side.
Okay. Do you think there's anything more you can advise on some of the later parts of this, or do you?
Let's have a look. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So the way this breaks up here, first of all, I think it would be really nice if you broke it up rather than it just dropping. obviously this would depend on your character as well, who is waterbending.
Mhm.
Like, if your character who's waterbending has just been knocked out, then I think it would make sense for it to just drop.
Right, so that all of their influence and effect on it has just vanished in like a moment.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, I think it would be nice to continue the movement into the dispersal. So we're
Gotcha.
having this cylinder whipping around, right? So rather than it become this cylinder where it's dispersing from bottom and top,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be nice to have like, we would keep that shape kind of whipping around a little bit as it disperses.
So almost like the force of the waterbending was keeping it like contained into that sort of ring.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that sort of outer force is is almost like let go, then the water continues to travel in the direction it was going, which would have been like outward like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do that. Continue to whip water around.
It's interesting. I wouldn't have thought of it in terms of like what is making the water stop bending. Like you were saying, like if they were knocked out, that would be one way, or if they are intentionally letting it drop, you could have it forcefully, like the whole thing like move down.
Yeah.
Or you could have it explode outward with the force that's been generated into like ice shards or something.
Yeah. I
Depending
got a hair stuck on my hand and I was trying to get it off.
Yeah, depending on the personality you said of the bender
Mhm.
and what their intentions of this ball were.
Yeah. So like, I think you could really you could whip this out,
Oh, I like that. I like that.
so it disperses really unevenly in its layers, which would be fun. Like, again, keeping in mind that you have front and back planes here to work with, which are really nice, take advantage of those. And also, again, you don't want to flatten it out and for it to become very 2D feeling,
Mhm.
like two-dimensional. At the end, when you've done this job of like creating a sphere, you want to maintain the sense of space that you have.
Yeah, so it's like communicate the idea and then manipulate the idea, manipulate the motion based on that initial idea, and then kind of the follow through of that. You want to make sure that like the things that you've communicated first continue through so that it feels cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just write BAM?
And then you can have it come out in these sheets, which will be nice.
Uh,
Then after because these straight lines here, these very smooth curved lines are communicating the velocity that it's traveling at. So after that, having the slightly more wobbly lines come in shows you that it's lost momentum.
mhm.
So having it, really fall down.
I think one thing you notice at the end here is that everything feels like it's falling at the same rate.
Yeah.
And Tibbs has put a note in the chat that said, if it's all going to drop, I think it's important to note that the ball has momentum already, and that there are parts moving upward which are going to have to slow down before they drop.
Mhm.
So that's where you create that variable and variance within the shape, that it's not all like, it's not every molecule of the water is going down based on gravity at the same time. As India was saying, like if you have that rotation in the ball, then the stuff that is coming around the bottom and traveling upward when the bending stops is going to keep traveling upwards. So that's going to go up as the forward side falls down, so then it will curve up from behind, and then as the top has fallen, the bottom, as it rises over again, would fall at a slower rate. So you have that kind of like kind of feeling. I'm gesturing with my hands.
Yeah, you are. I can see you out with my peripheral.
You can't see it, so... Whereas what India's got here is like a more forceful...
Yeah. Like I was saying, if your waterbender were to get knocked out, I think it would make more sense for it just to drop, you know? So that could be a perfectly legitimate way to disperse this. Even if you do end up making it drop, though, it's still worth taking note of which parts you have traveling up, which parts have momentum, and making sure that you create uneven shapes of everything. So I'm going to put a note here. Try to have things falling at different rates. Because it helps it feel more organic. Organic. It helps it feel more orgasmic. Mike is just staring at me. Sorry.
Yeah, because we all know that great animation.
I mean, animation makes me feel things, man. Animation makes me feel good.
Have you just revealed to the world that your fetish is animation?
If I see good animation, I'm like, oh mama. I really am. I'm like, holy shit. Did you see those curves?
Oh dear.
It's like when I see a really good character design, I'm like, wow. I'm feeling things about this character design. So let's see.
Hey, there's appeal, there's rhythm, there's a whole bunch of overlaps in subjects.
So yeah, the way it's falling
Matter.
here feels a bit even. You see how you have just these evenly spaced, like, spikes of water coming up? I think you want to vary that. So think about it more like, you know, you might have more of this kind of thing, where you have a sheet up here.
Even just that shorthand of drawing the vertical lines, if you just vary the length of those. But think about it in terms of how the forces would act. So if you have most of the mass at the center, it's going to start with those at the center, and then as those ripple outwards, maybe the outer ones go bigger, and the middle one goes down more. I don't know. There's nothing really making it do that actual pattern, so...
Yeah, too regular, I think is the thing. We have a lot of notes on this one just because this one is like so ambitious and different in its scope.
Yeah.
Like a ball of water that I think, you know.
So we're getting to half 10 now.
Okay.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more to go. I think that...
Do you want to do a two-parter?
No, I think that... Well, I want to get on with our own projects tomorrow is the only thing. So
but I want to make sure that everyone who submitted gets their stuff seen and shown and get...
Yeah. So I think we can probably apply notes that we've given to the ones above. If we see them in the following ones. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Let me see what's next.
Next up is Porky Boys.
Porky Boy.
Who's went above and beyond. I have a note from Tib that Tib gave on this.
Oh, please do. I'll play it. You give the note as I play.
Okay, well.
Wow. Oh, this is beautiful. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Okay, go ahead, Mike. What was the note?
So Tib said for this one, grab it. Tib says, I really love how solid that glass feels, and the reflection turning into a person is really nicely done. It maybe feels a bit thick at the start, and I tend to find the shape of a pore doesn't really change as much as I expect it to. It's usually fairly consistent as long as the rate of flow isn't changing. I think maybe that initial pour could be polished a bit, but on the whole, this is gorgeous.
Agreed. I don't think there's much critique I can give on this. It's super appealing, super fun, and super nice. I like the way it foams up. I really like the bubbles here. Super nice. And the little cherry girl is so cute. Especially my favourite part is this part where you slosh it around and you have both the glass moving. You have the glass moving, and then you have the water inside the glass moving on an offset from that. So you see as this glass is moving down here, as this glass is moving down, the water here is still moving up and around because the movement is the motivation, so the water is like catching up with that momentum.
Yeah.
Like the water is a mass where the previous movement is still acting on it, and it's going to take time to change its direction, which means that it's not going to be one-to-one with the glass itself. It's not going to like stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be slightly delayed afterwards. So you can see that the glass is going around and the water is delayed just afterwards. And then you get this lovely like bob from her inside it as well. It's so nice.
Really cool circular motions.
Yeah, lovely. Like because she's sitting at the back, she's obviously like offset against the front of the glass.
Tib's got an additional note.
Yeah.
Another small note on this one is that the fizz should really be starting as soon as it pours. Foam forms as soon as air is getting in the water. So as soon as there's bubbles, there's foam.
So foam should start here.
Yeah. Which adds to the complexity because then you need to figure out various things. Do you think it would change the shape of the surface water, Tib? Or do you think that they could keep these shapes but just add that level of like additional internal detail to the surface? Evor Studio says fam starts here, we're all family.
Aww.
We're all just beautiful animators helping each other get better.
Beautiful animators. Oh, this is great too. Look, this is you see how uneven the shape is,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see when it hits, we get a more spiky impact.
Yep.
And then that resolves into softer shapes. That's exactly what I was saying. With like when something first impacts something, you kind of want the spray off to be spikier for water.
Yeah, imagine drawing arrows over the top of this and just figuring out what the forces are doing. So if a force hits against a solid surface, it's going to bounce at an angle in relation to the angle it hits. Like if you hit a pool ball against the cushion of a pool table at an angle, think about the angle it will come off at.
I wonder if that's what they did to plan this out.
Maybe.
Because it's very complex.
Because I think a lot of effects animation is visualizing and seeing those forces in your head, and then having your materials react to those directional forces. And like that's how I think about it. Like arrows, and then bigger arrows means more force, or smaller arrows means less. I don't know why I'm describing small arrows meaning less force, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's lovely. That little bob of the cherry, so nice. And the way that the lime thickness has been used to show like which parts of the water are pushing out more.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see which parts are going for distance and fading out faster. Super nice.
This is really economic as well. Like they've got 2 or 3 frames for those bubbles, but then they can use that in a loop.
Yeah.
While the other animation plays.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really lovely. Like, I don't have much critique on this. I think this is really well done. Very, very competent.
Yeah, I think this is a good one for others to look at to see the application of the previous advice we've given, and also like just how the different approaches to the different kinds of water in here.
I guess you could break up the shape a little bit more. Like if I'm looking for nitpicks, you could break up the shape a little bit more here, because it feels kind of like, well, more water is coming out, so that's totally fair at the same time. But yeah, I think you could break that up a little bit more as it goes down. Break up shapes just a little bit more.
You're gonna need an L from my side on little.
There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that there's like more variance in the size. You know?
Yeah. Get out your physics textbooks.
And yeah, I think that I can't give many notes on this. This is wonderful. I love it. I did kind of wish that the glass reflection at the bottom stayed on. But that's really like
It's a nitpick.
Yeah, that's something that they can do. That is the least complex part for them to do. So I'm sure if they want to do that, like, they are gonna be able to. This is really cute. So cute. That's meant to be a star.
Need a U in the cute.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know why it's being such a butt face.
Why is it such a butt face? You're a butt face, Mr. Grinch. Lovely, wonderful work. Really beautiful. One more time now. Shiver my timbers, shiver my sails.
Yo ho, eat whales.
Nice. Don't do that though.
No, they're too cute.
Whales are happy, wonderful creatures. 7th chord. Oh, that's great. You're a butt face, Mr. Grinch. You really are a dick. I want to see that version.
Marlon Michael says, I think there will be a little intricate droplets on the outside of the glass for more ambient imperfections. Ooh.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
That would be nice. Little droplets. Yeah, potentially on the inside too.
Next.
Yeah, sorry, hypnotic. It's hypnotic. Okay, let's have a look and see what we got here. This is from Anne 19, is that right?
Yeah, I believe this is Andres Hernandez.
Okay, gotcha. Andres Hernandez. Andres Hernandez.
Nice sense of depth using the value on the back. Like, this feels like an ocean at night, which is really cool.
It does. Is the back part kind of clouds, or is that another layer of water, do you think?
I think it's another layer of water. Like, this is a turbulent sea, so we're seeing like small microwaves on top of larger volumes of water being raised up and down.
Yeah, I really love the little rotations you have going on the waves in the foreground.
Yeah.
I think the main note that I would have on this is that the distance between this foreground body of water and the background body of water feels very great, because the foreground layers of water are all layered up like you're looking at them quite flat, whereas the layer of water behind them because it's so high above the foreground waves, it feels like it's a very long way away. And like there's just not detail between that and the foreground.
Perhaps. Like I see that as like a big gap like this, where like we're seeing the top of one and another, like a big stormy sea maybe.
Do you mean like a whirlpool?
Like
we're seeing one side of the whirlpool and then the other side of the whirlpool.
Not a whirlpool, but like the big trough. That's the way I'm interpreting it. Yeah.
If it was like a whirlpool, I could totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a shame my screen is so dark. It's kind of difficult to see.
It's dark over here as well.
Let's see. But yeah, I think like if you wanted to fill it in that gap, then I would maybe expect like this kind of thing from the foreground, and then like equally stuff going into the background, because that feels to me like kind of what the foreground perspective sets up.
Yeah. Tibbs is saying, I would love if these two waves were merged together. You can literally add waves together, and putting small waves on top of larger waves is a really clear way to show that undulating ocean with the turbulent surface. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great note there, Tib.
I'm glad you appreciate this, Marlon. Marlon says it's brilliant to actually have an animation stream. There are so little animation channels on Twitch. Yeah,
it's true. It's a shame.
Seems odd to me.
Yeah. Some people who are really, really good who are on Twitch, if you're looking for people, is the Prap Bros.
Yep.
They analyze animation like this all the time, and they're really good at it. They work for Animation Mentor, so they know their stuff. So I'd recommend their stream if you want to see animation analysis and people animating in real time. But yeah, so Tib was saying that to have that big movement at the back with the surface detail of the smaller movement would be super nice. Because at the minute, the surface movement at the front is really nice, but just doesn't feel like there's much distortion happening underneath. It feels quite flat in terms of the actual up and down movement of the sea underneath. Whereas in the back, it feels much more kind of turbulent because the shapes are moving so much, but they don't have the surface detail to really show the scale. So combining those two together would be really nice. Look at this beautiful rotation here. I really love that.
I'll say this is a really successful, like, you feel the weight of this water as it's moving up and down. Like,
yeah.
A really nice sense of timing.
Yeah, like if it was a whirlpool, I'd expect it to moving maybe a little bit faster.
I don't think they intended a whirlpool. I think it's like...
I think my brain's just having trouble wrapping around the idea of just like a trough in the ocean when the foreground part feels quite calm. Let's see.
Yeah, those are at odds with one another. Yeah. It's almost like two water studies put in the same scene.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to connect them together somehow if you were able to. Like you could make it into a whirlpool and just have that moving a little bit faster, and then have this back bit moving at odds with it. So this is traveling that way, and the back bit is traveling that way, and you have like a little surface detail to show like the size of it in comparison. So my main thing with this is trying to resolve the foreground and background planes, because the actual water animation itself, especially the foreground water animation, is lovely. The way you've got those waves overlapping and rotating, I think is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really nice stuff. then movement on foreground a little faster. There you go. So I'm just going to write at the beginning. Main feedback is understanding how BG and FG, background and foreground, relate in space.
I think that's pretty good. I
Yeah.
think if they
Is it whirlpool?
Whirlpool?
Oh,
Big anime waves.
one plate? We shall see. You decide.
No, I can't think of another. I can't think of a water thing that has rap in it.
Rapids.
Rapid battle? Nice!
Thank you.
Nice! Sugoi! That was great. Oh, wow. Rapid battle.
All right.
decide.
Lovely work. Really, really cool. Andres Hernandez, you've done it again. What?
Next up.
Parificana.
Parificana. I'm sorry if I misspelled your name.
You did.
In the
That's terrible. What is that?
The name of the file.
That's wrong.
So, fine.
Wow.
Jeez. Get off my back, lady.
Never. That's fun. This happens to me every time I try and drink tea. I'm like, I'll just grab it. Ow!
I think this is playing slow for me. So I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna play it for myself.
Pause it.
How do I? Not sure why the playback is so slow in this one.
Oh, is it not meant to be this slow?
I don't think so.
Have you guys heard of thick water, by the way? Have you, Mike?
No, I've not. What's thick water?
It's something you can buy as a drink, and it's thickened water. It's water, but it's thick.
Thick water?
Yeah.
Is it just like full of minerals?
No. It's full of something.
Hang on, let's see if it's coming with the wrong frame rate. It's trying to play at 30. That's not right. That's not
Or
right.
if you say it's slow, though, it will have to be faster than that.
Yeah.
Like, it will have to be a higher frame rate. Are you sure?
I think it's just chugging. I'm not sure why, I'm sorry.
Okay.
This might be
Yeah, kind of like gelatine, H-Robun.
let me find it on
Yeah, Keyframe says apparently it helps people who have trouble swallowing. So some people have trouble drinking water or liquids that are very thin. And it's helpful for people with that condition to have thicker liquids to drink.
Gotcha.
But I've heard that it doesn't taste great.
This should come up on the stream. Yeah.
I'm intensely curious about it though. I saw Markiplier drink some and he hated it, and now I'm like, it can't be that bad, right? It can't be that bad. It's made for people to drink. I really want to try some. I might have to order some when the quarantine's over.
This is the rate that it's meant to play at.
Okay. That's really nice. I like the idea of this animation a lot. Let's see, things that I could say. I think if you have your water at rest, then you might want to flatten the surface of it out a little bit. Just to really show like it hasn't been disturbed in aeons. Jurassic water.
Jurassic water.
Da 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 da.
Aliens.
There you go. So just like
Yeah, so that's just a draftsman's ship. Note.
it's a draftsman's ship.
Note.
Oh yes.
A note upon their draftsmanship.
Rest. Flatten out. Water surface. Water an idea. Water surface. Yeah.
Have I finished my tea?
And then this is nice.
What are you tapping for, Buffy?
I'm just moving my tea to check how it moves. You're right. Yeah, so move that way. It would. I think one of the problems with reading this is it feels like just a tail end at the left has gone up. Because your body of water is one big body, that means that the side closest to the hand would also go down. So you might want it a little bit more like this.
Night Wing Betweens, thanks for coming by.
Disco up.
Disco up.
Disco. Let's disco up, everyone. Get your bell bottoms on. Disco down. Heck yeah. Hell yeah.
Can't disco, only discobobulate.
Discobobulate.
Oh my gosh, imagine there was a character called Disco Bob and they turned up late for work.
Disco Bob, you late.
There you go. Oh my gosh, that hit way harder.
That's really good. Oh no.
You know what?
I like that.
I try to be funny.
Disco Bob, you late.
I try to be funny and tell jokes and they don't land with you and you make fun of me.
Yeah.
I try and tell you a really shitty joke that I don't find funny
Oh man.
and it floors you.
It's so good though. Disco Bob, you late.
Jesus,
Oh
come
man.
on, hold it together.
I'm
India.
good. I'm good. Keep everything moving. So here you're gonna want the entire thing to shift its butt over there. So
Can you make a fan art of Disco Bob? Of course
oh my
you can.
gosh. Yeah. My favorite
Ooh.
person.
My monitor is overheating. My old
So,
one, not the new one.
This is gonna start
Really?
coming back over. Starts coming back. Momentum. And meanwhile, these drops are whoop, flying through the air with the greatest of ease. It's the wonderful water on the flying trapeze. It's cool. Yeah.
This is really cool.
And then that will motivate this splash up, you see? Because it starts to come down here. So we know it's gonna start coming up.
Disco down, disco up.
In fact, I would probably start it
Disco
Coming up.
bobulate.
like that. So the front part is overlapping as it starts to come up. And then this part is gonna flatten that bit out a little bit as it leaves the glass. And again, it's all about just maintaining the volume. So because a lot of it's sloshed out here, there's not going to be as much mass up there because half of it's now out of the glass. Save me from myself. Oh. Nice. And then we would have this begin to settle back down as this continues to travel outwards. So this would like probably split.
What do you mean? What do you mean you snarfed?
Snarf. It's when you like inhale something.
Oh, okay. Like it doesn't go down the esophagus; it goes down the
Windpipe.
Wait.
What is
The
it?
anatomy. What's the windpipe called?
Trachea?
Is it the trachea?
I think so.
I hope so. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, always the convenient. That feeling when you take a sip but lowering the cup whips the liquid so it blops up on your nose, yeah. Break!
We truly are vulnerable human meatbags. Like, you look at a monster encyclopedia and you're like, this thing takes silver bullets to kill. And then you look at a humans list
You
and
know
it's
when
like,
you look at a monster encyclopedia?
yeah. You just look at humans list and like, everything. They're weak to everything.
Yep.
Water, lack of air,
Water can kill us.
no food, no sunlight.
Food, too much food. No sunlight, too much sunlight. We're delicate creatures.
Temperatures, sharp objects,
Too hot, too
blunt
cold.
objects.
That's really nice. I like this shake a lot. Again, I'd say just watch evenness of droplets.
You could probably just write their favorite things can harm them.
Yep. Name something that can't kill a human. That's my challenge to you. Name one thing that can't kill a human.
Moderation.
You know, that's fair. It's a floozy answer because it's not an actual thing. It's a concept, but
Oh, love can kill you. Yeah. I suppose.
certain animals can like die of heartache, can't they?
Really?
Yeah, animals that are pair for life. If a mate dies, sometimes they just like stop eating and looking after themselves because there's sadness.
I think that's what happened to my hamster. What?
Go on.
It just.
What did it lose? Like loved?
Well, it either lost the will to live,
Okay, so there was nothing.
or no, I had two hamsters and they died in quick succession. One of them, I think, committed
What do you mean
seppuku.
commit? I don't. Can hamsters commit suicide? I feel like an animal's first instinct is survival.
Okay, so I had a hamster wheel and two hamsters. And one of my hamsters liked to climb up the side of the cage and then grab hold of the outer edge of the wheel, hold on, and it would kick off, and then it would fly down under the wheel and fly out the other side. That's how it died.
It liked to do it.
So I don't know if it was attempting every time, or whether it just didn't.
What? How did it die from that?
I don't know. That's why.
What do you mean you don't know? How
what
did it
my-
die from that?
I don't know.
What?
I think
What
it
do you
did,
mean?
though.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. What? Wait. What? Did you see a hamster fly off the wheel?
I was like 8 years
or
old.
did you just find it
something.
and you were like, oh, it must have done the thing?
Probably. I think I Google this every time and never remember it, but do hamsters hibernate?
Yes.
Do they?
Yes. If the body is floppy, it's hibernating.
It wasn't floppy, it was solid. Rigor mortis. Okay,
Okay.
we're all good.
Okay. I'm just just checking. Because when our hamster died, we were like, oh, maybe it's just hibernating, but then
But it was like a little brick.
yeah.
I am sad to say that I held the hamster while it was dead for probably longer than I should have.
What do you mean?
Like, I was just holding it and like, it was like, this is really cute, even though it was dead.
What?
How? Okay.
You psychopath.
No, like I didn't do anything with it. I was just like, the hamster bit me every time I tried to hold it.
Right.
So the first time that I was able to
Did it not make you incredibly sad to hold your dead hamster?
A little bit.
Oh my god. Who am I with? Who is this man I've brought into my life?
Wow, I didn't really. Yeah, maybe I just didn't register.
Maybe
the
you've
fact
masked it because it's been so. It was traumatizing.
Maybe I was just happy that I got to hold them.
That's
for...
that's not better that they're dead so you can hold them.
I couldn't hold it until it died.
Oh my gosh.
Is the story.
I'm never getting a hamster with you.
Okay.
That's all I know now. I think I've finished doing these little critiques, so they're very small, but I hope they're helpful, Parafakana. Essentially, I just said that it'd be nice to have a bit more settle here on the water, and also to flatten out a little bit. And when the water droplets hit the surface, it'd be nice to have them expand a little bit, disperse a little bit, and make sure you keep those shapes like less even. Lovely work, though.
Have we just figured out that I'm a sociopath?
You want to take an online test to see if you're a sociopath?
Maybe.
I think you're okay, Mike.
I'd be really.
I've seen you cry over things that make you sad emotionally, especially when it comes to cute animals. So I think you're good.
I think I'd gotten those hamsters, but I'd never really truly like
bonded.
Yeah, I think I tried, and then they just like bit me every time. So I don't think it was like, yeah.
It's okay, Mike. Ooh.
I'm being given a test. Michael, do you feel guilty about things you feel you've done wrong? Yes, I do.
What things I've done wrong, then, Mike? This is Nick Haster. Nick Haster anime. Am I right? I really like the way that the water slows down here. The rain.
I mean, the thing that happened after that was my mum made me bury it in the garden by myself.
By yourself?
Yeah.
That's so sad.
She's
Did
like,
she not come out and help you?
I don't think so.
But yeah, this is really nice. The way that you have this fast movement, it's so fast that it's on just a loop. Turn into this very slow ease into these water droplets is really nice. I like the variant in size you have of them too. So it feels like we have so much closer to the camera, so much further away. Real nice.
I used to have a tree in my garden.
Right.
Never mind. Sorry. Sorry.
No, I mean, it's okay. Are we tapping into some deep, long lost memories or something?
Yeah, I just remember burying it behind a tree. In my garden. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Are you sure?
We're on to this animation.
You sure?
Sorry, I'm really sorry.
Don't apologize. It's okay, Mike. I feel like we're learning a lot about you. I feel like maybe is there a time in your life where you kind of lost some time? I can't remember anything.
I mean, there's big gaps in my memory, yeah.
That's okay. I don't know if that's usual. I've got a terrible memory. So I think my first note would be here, where the water starts to pull back in. It's good economy to use the previous frame, but volumetrically, because the water's pulling back, you wouldn't have the same amount of mass at the front as in the previous frame. So I think that's throwing off a little bit what you could be getting from it. I think if you have a couple of options, because you have this water very slowly like coming in a certain direction here, which is nice. So you could either continue that movement forward. So for example, if I use this dot here as my example, you could either continue that forward but start pulling back at the same time, like this. You see how the shape is like flattening out? Or you could do what I'm going to do on this one, which is move the mass back to where it's being pulled to. Because if you're pulling the mass back, it's probably not going to pull... let's see. The way that water works, if you were to suck water in like this and move the mass back towards you, then the mass would travel inside the water and distort the exterior shape of the water.
Yeah.
In such a way that it would bulge at the end, which it's traveling toward.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't really have it dragging with a bulbous end. You would have the end with the most mass coming towards you.
Yeah, because you got to think about it like they're pulling it in from... Well, in this scenario, it looks like they're pulling it in from a central point. Or maybe like a spiral force, or like a spiral going in. But they're not like pinpoint, like grabbing each like water droplet by like pinching it and then pulling.
Yeah.
If anything, maybe what you could have is like a bean shape where the two ends of the bean are like thicker, so like it pulls most of it and then there's drag of the rest and then the rest is pulled.
Yeah, you could even then split them off into two little droplets.
Yeah, like it's tearing, the surface tension breaks.
Let's see, you could shift the mass.
Emily just says, suck that water
Back. Suck that water. Rather than using previous frame. And modifying.
There is tell that cat. This is something in the chat. Talking about cats playing with past cat spirits and stuff. But there's a thing about cats being able to see more of the spirit realm.
What's the thing, Mike?
What's the what thing?
There's a thing about cats being able to see more of the spirit realm. What's the thing?
Isn't it that they're like they live in both?
Who told you this?
You?
Was it a cat?
I don't think so.
Did I tell you that cats live in a spirit realm?
Don't know. Well, there's lots of media and folklore about cats.
There are lots of folklore stories about cats.
Yeah, like ghost stories. There's like a cat that goes like and runs away and stuff. I don't think Buffy would do that. I think Buffy would just stand a little bit away and just look aloof. Oh, she's melting.
Yes, she is.
Ah.
The mass would be at the front. Facing the direction.
They're really cool emotes. Oh my gosh, Kuya.
Oh wow, Kuya, that's amazing. Whoa. I love them. Look how swole they are. Kuya, that's incredible. Nice job. I take it you got a partner, Kuya.
Yeah.
If you're able to spend emote slots making cool stuff like this, I'm assuming that you made it. In which case, congratulations! I'm sorry if I'm super late saying that to you. There we go. Facing the direction they travel. And then it starts to amalgamate into this blob here.
We got a couple of new bit emotes. I'll show you.
I'll show you. It might be nice here to do a similar thing to what some of the others were doing and like have some kind of bubbles inside or surface detail to this water to give it a bit of texture. Surface detail wraps around. Or interior bubbles. To show texture and depth. Because you don't want it to become just a blue circle. You want it to feel like a sphere, you know?
Again, carrying forth that initial idea of spiraling into a central point.
Yeah.
Continue that spiral.
We should play Spyro at some point.
Spyro, huh?
Yeah.
I've only ever played like the old ones just for like I think I played a demo.
Devin was recommending it.
Oh, okay, Devin.
I think you could delay the water frame here. Delay water. 1 frame. So that the hand whips up. And then we get this follow through here of the water. Because it just shows cause and effect, you know?
Yeah. That's a good offset what's happening, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nice work. Nice jobbo. I hope that's helpful. Yeah, just getting a bit of like clear overlap in here.
Next up we got Pal Bros.
Pal bro!
Pal bro fella did a little line of mootin'.
He's a pal, he's a bro, he's a real good fella, he's pal bro fella.
Oh.
Ooh.
I haven't watched this yet, so here
You're
we go.
ready for this?
I hit the play button.
Okay. Oh, cool!
Nice.
Like, more water bending almost. Nice job, pal bro. I like your inking style, pal bro. There's something about your lines that is, like, appealing to look at. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I hit I hit pause as well.
That's okay.
You got control.
So let's see. These water droplets are nice. I feel like you could use them to describe the form a little bit more. So I think the speed that they're falling here at the beginning, if I'm looking at this one, which is hanging off her hair, boop, spacing is my note. If you look at the one which is falling off her hair, then I think it is running down her arm, isn't it? It's because the rate it falls at, the spacing is so tight together here that it feels like it has a fairly consistent speed all the way down. So what you probably want to do is when it drops off to have it immediately like land here. So it's clear. Because when it drops off, it'll drop off really quickly, right? Because gravity's acted on it, it's fallen down for the first time.
And then it would hit the surface and get stuck a little bit.
Yeah. Immediately hit arm. So you can see it on this here. I'd have a little bit bigger spacing as this falls down. So I'd probably go, let's see, I might have a stretch frame there. And then send it all the way down. Just so it feels like it has a bit more weight and velocity to it.
Cool.
Yep. Also, something worth knowing is when water drops, it turns into circles.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't actually tend to drop like this. It does that only at the beginning. because it's still clinging to whatever it was clinging to before.
So that
So you'll
drip
more
shape,
often,
that drip shape is surface tension.
yeah. So you'll
Okay.
more often get this. If I should draw a ceiling here so you can actually see.
Interesting.
So you see, you have this, and then the two disconnect, and this kind of continues down a little bit because it's just let go, and then it resolves back up, and the droplet keeps falling down. So droplets are actually round, which is probably a good thing.
Can you add a D to droplets?
Oh yeah, droplets are
Thank you.
round.
Are you just drawing over the D that you see when you do that?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So then what I was saying is, I think when you have these droplets coming down her arm, it feels like it's traveling like in a fairly straight line, but I think you could really use it to describe the form. It's like a really nice idea to have these droplets on her, because you can like really show, you know, if you took this kind of path instead, you would be showing like the description of the bicep of her arm,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that it's like rolled underneath her elbow and then it drops off the point of her elbow. So
There's a way that water moves differently, whether the surface is dry or wet. So if it's already wet,
Oh.
already has a path to go down, it will almost accelerate
interesting.
because it's not having to like hit that initial resistance. If you think about rain hitting a window and like where the water gathers and everything, if you see like water like streak down a window, it'll usually follow similar paths because it's following the path that the water's already gone.
Yeah.
Because there's less resistance that way, so there's nothing stopping it on either side, and it'll follow those paths.
Yeah.
Similarly, like if you want to show that water is already dripped off of this character, you could have it do that similar thing where like it goes.
Oh,
goes
it's super fast. Yeah. Whereas it would be about the speed you have it right now, like a little bit slower if she's dry.
Yep.
Super cool. It's going to be hard for me not to look at the character animation here, because like that's the thing I'm super used to. I like this little swirl you have going on around her.
I just want to say to Seventh Cards, thanks so much for coming by tonight.
Oh,
and,
Seventh Chords, thank you.
You rest well.
Yeah, let's see if the emote works when you're next around.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your generosity.
And we'll just troubleshoot some stuff in the meantime and see if we can figure out why it might not be coming through. Thank you so much.
Seventh Cards says this.
Aww. Heck yeah. Soon, I hope it works. Because I made them so people could use them.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised that barring Twitch being a butt, that's been unlocked by someone so fast.
So I think one of the things I'm seeing with the ripple is because the front bit here is quite flat in terms of the line that she enters the water. I feel like the ripples themselves will be a little bit flatter too, because that's kind of describing to me the perspective of the water. Ripples a little flatter, unless
Thank you for the follow.
you want to do like a whirlpool thing where she is like inside this, and then we have like this whirlpool happening around her almost. In which case, what you have right now would work for that. Unless a whirlpool? It depends how much control you want to show her having over the water, I guess.
Definitely not a whirlpool.
But you could do that if you wanted to. It might be pretty cool.
Sometimes this sync sketch not matching up is great because it looks like you just typed that you just wrote Whirlpool.
Whirlpool. Did I miss a letter?
Yeah,
Which
it
one?
looks like the L
Okay.
and the O.
Which O?
First O. Whirlpool. There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry guys, if my notes are difficult to understand, this is why. And then we have this. Niceness. I like this. Nice feeling of the forms following through here, Barbro, in terms of the water.
One of my favorite things to do at the swimming pool is to like take my hand and like dip like one or two fingers and then like just like feel like spin. You know, like you put it into the surface of the water and you just like push. You can like splash people with it.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of resistance and the like of that is just really cool. I'm just saying that because this feel like what she's doing is like she's just kind of like putting her hand along the surface and just being like,
Yeah.
like whip slapping.
Whip slap 'em. Like what I'm saying here is that I feel like I would like to see that go a little bit bigger here and just flare out a little bit more. And then you could fold it over so you have like, oh no! There we go. You have like the front bit here. And then that overlaps a little bit. Here. And then get us into the water. Ooh, that's a really nice dispersal there, Palbro. Look at that. Super nice. The way it kind of goes into the ripples. Cool move. Oh, I like that you use a smear. Heck yeah. Smears for the— oh, look at that arm. That's awesome. Heck yeah. So let's see. So if she's scooping across that way, it's going to be pretty much the same as when we were talking about the aircraft going over the top of the water surface, right? So it's going to be— whoops, put the line in the wrong place. That's a good start. It's going to be dragged like this kind of thing. Oh, I really like that you have this kind of shape coming here as well. That's so cool. Because we get this nice overlap of her almost being inside this, like, this wall of water. So yeah, you got some real nice stuff going on here. But yeah, I think if you think about it more as like a sheet, I think that'll be easier to think about than individual splashes. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And then you could have this really bloom outwards here. Let me adjust this so that it makes more sense with the next frame. Lovely, lovely work. You already get that feeling of flair coming up. Yeah! And then just make sure that, and I like that you're keeping this uneven. So make sure you keep that variance in there. Like it might be nice if you are doing like a big eruption of water to have some of those straights in there too. Just to really show the velocity of it coming out. But nice job of making it uneven on one side. So yeah, maybe get a few spikies in there just to really show like this is exploding outwards right now. the sound of spikies.
Nice.
That's really cool to be able to see what you're planning through the water. It's super nice. These punches too, super cool. When you're doing this this nice big bloom here with the water, it might help to keep the shapes on the exterior a bit more uneven as you're going through. So don't be afraid to like add wave patterns where it like breaks into itself.
Oh, were you streaming this, Palbro, just before you joined?
Oh wow, nice.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Thank you for streaming the challenge.
Aw.
If that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just getting a bit of a break in some of these will make it feel more watery. Because if you've ever seen like a waterfall or sheets of water falling down, there are parts in it where sometimes it just like the shape will just break up and you'll get this gap in it for a few seconds. And then she punches through the water, which is really cool. What about having like a shockwave or something there almost?
Yeah, I would think about that as like a cone of force coming through. So you really feeling the perspective and the volume of it. So centering the thin point of the cone where their fist would punch through, and then almost like a force outward. Because right now it kind of feels like it's a cutout of a negative space in the volume of the water, but you want to really feel like they've pushed through that volume, and like it's pushing through and out the other side in a dispersed way.
Yeah. You see, I was just going to suggest doing like a shockwave type dealio,
Oh.
but I think that's cooler. Like, so you would have, rather than this, you would have it punch out in a cone.
Yeah.
So it would be like,
I could draw it if you want.
yeah, please, if you want to go for it.
Okay.
Hard for me to stop.
It's okay. I think you've got it there anyway.
But yeah, you would show the tips of the water in like the foam.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have it kind of folding outwards like this.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you could have it coming like closer to the camera and starting to break up, you know? As gravity starts acting on it. And then it closes back up afterwards, but you can still have this this sheet of water kind of coming down. Which might be fun. I think you could, let me just erase this one, which was the holdover from my previous note. So punch out. Punch out!
One of the benefits of layering up animation is with this, like this as well, is that while her punch would be affecting the water that she's punching through, if your effect overlaps that intersection, then you can obstruct the water being affected behind it with the water being affected in front of it, and not have to worry about communicating that to the viewer, because you can just be like foam thing in front and make that opaque so you really feel the force, rather than having to like figure out how it would interact with the stuff behind it.
Yeah.
That way you can be economic in what you're communicating and still having that sense of power and pushing through.
And with this, it kind of looks like the water is almost being sucked back in to this bit in the middle here. In which case, I'd show that volume underneath the water by like blooming up the water around her. Like it's been sucked back in, but in doing so, it's like pushed the rest of the water away because that water has to go somewhere, right? So it's gone back into the ocean or the lake or wherever she is. And then we get this. And remember here not to keep it too even.
Oh, apparently this is based on a Pokemon character. This is the fight gym leader.
Yeah, I recognize her now. She's got the headpiece and everything.
Was she in one of the shorts that was made?
Yes.
And she has like the Machamp and stuff.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's her.
Gotcha.
Keep it uneven. Uneven. Same with this. Like, I'm an uneven body of water. Bow to me, you mortal men.
Kind of looks like a lily.
A flower, yeah. In fact, I believe that in the book, Elemental Magic, which is a great effects book if anyone's interested in, if anyone's enjoyed doing effects and wants to pursue it further, then there's a great book called Elemental Magic, and I believe in that they talk about the fact that it's almost like a flower or a bowl opening.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. The same here. Just a bit too even on that shape.
Yeah, so if you look at the way in Breakdown how India drew that, she worked out the top rim first and then added like the sides to it, from what I saw.
Yeah,
And
well,
then,
if you know where the base of your thing is, if you, whoops, keep accidentally doing that. There we are. If you know that the base of your thing, there it is here, then I can extrapolate outwards from that, knowing like where the base is, where it's coming from, knowing it's got a solid foundation, and then flare it out unevenly. Think of it like making a pot, you know?
Like on a spinny thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
All right. I think.
And then we get this punch.
Yeah. I think we could probably apply the same shape language here as you've done in the previous punches throughs.
I think so too. I would love to see a bit of a shockwave going on though. Like,
see how India has like created that little C shape. It shows that there's forces pushing on either side, pulling it apart. So you're communicating that not only is it an outward force from a center point, but that force is like pulling on the circumference as well, as each one goes in a different. If we just draw an arrow from that center point, can I draw?
Yeah, please.
I want to do a draw. So, wow. Forcing this way and this way from the center point. That going that way and that going that way makes there be like a pulling force here, which is pulling this that way and this that way. There you go.
Yeah. My circle isn't very round, but you get the idea that there would be like a shockwave happening. And think about it like you want 1 point perspective, so you want everything coming out from this center point. So if you're going to flare off bits of water, just think about them continuing that motion. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And I think that'll give it a lot of force. Again, those straights, like, give it a lot of force. And then nice dispersal here. I really like that. The way that you can track this This dark blue here pushes outwards to here, then to here, then to here. Like, really nice. Lovely stuff, Palbro. This is super cool. So this is how she trains! Now we know!
It's so tiring to try and punch underwater.
Yeah?
But yeah.
I know, I've fought underwater.
You fought
Of course. I fight
in the
everywhere I
championships,
can.
yeah.
If I'm in a swimming pool, I will fight underwater. Did you used to train underwater or something? Did they used to put a diving helmet on you when you were doing
not
karate?
explicitly. I went to a training camp at a weekend once, and we trained on the beach, and then we had to like train submerged up to our waist for a bit. But yeah, not really.
It'd be harder to kick if you were submerged up to the waist.
Yeah.
Do some crab kick.
Crab kicks, yeah. You mean
Crab kicks are delicious.
Wait. Is it Gary?
Gary.
Yoka Gary. I think Gary is kick, maybe.
Okay.
Uzu Gary? Yoka Gary? My Gary? It's been a long time.
Okay. I'm gonna move to Elaine's, which is the final one we have.
Second final one.
Oh?
Yeah, we got one last one from Phoenix
Let me refresh.
King.
There we go. Let's have a look at this coffee drip. So, for those who don't know, Elaine is an artist and animator, and she streams over at Coffee Doodles, and her little mascot for her streams is this coffee boy, who I love. So I was hoping that she would animate him, and it looks like she has. Let's have a look. Oh, he's sleeping. Heck yeah.
It looks like once again it's playing slowly.
Oh really? Weird. Sorry guys.
I wonder why. Let me I've got it here as well, so we can have a good look.
I mean, I guess the first thing I'd say is for a satisfying loop, I'm afraid you're probably going to have to keep that droplet on screen the entire time, because otherwise it's just going to disappear in the loop.
Sure.
Keep on screen. And I think maybe it'll be nice to see that drop creep forth a few frames before. Like this, maybe. Ba 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 ba. And then maybe hang for one more frame. One more frame hang time! Just so you can really anticipate what's going to happen. Hang time.
Hang time. I like the liquid drip on the mug's mouth.
Me too. I ain't got no critique on that. That's cute. That shit's cute! So here we go. And then I would have the drop happen. Maybe here. And we would get like a stretch frame. And then this. And the reason that I'm drawing it as a oval here rather than a circle is because we have very limited frames here to work with, and so we want to show velocity. And so that's almost like a cam blur. Me elongating that. I'm essentially smearing it.
Oh, okay.
And then you would just delay your impact this frame, I think, where you would have your little coffee impact. And again, notice how I'm keeping it uneven. I'm always going to be keeping it uneven. Maybe move impact to here. So we have enough time to like really see it drip off. And then for the impact frame itself, keep shape uneven. You guys know this now. Keep whoop whoop whoop.
I think we could probably come up with a checklist now for like approaching effects animation.
I mean, these are only the things that I know about effects animation.
Yeah.
Which is not a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm gonna read that Elemental Magic book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna hunt it down. A tib checklist, please. Yeah.
And then I think you could expand this out a little bit more to reflect the amount of liquid that's dropped into it. I see the problem with the loop now, though.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need it to stay one size all the way through. Because otherwise it's going to increase on each loop, you know? So it's a toughie.
I think maybe if you had an initial shape, you can have the new drop ripple out and meet the full of the shape, but not extend it further. So you still have that feeling of dispersal because it's over the top of the established shape.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it any bigger.
Okay, I'm going to write that. Mike suggests having one established shape. For pool.
Coffee Doodle says, I was thinking of having it soak into the ground after dispersing. Well, that could work too.
That is another way to solve it for sure. Yeah. So you would just have the ripple show it if that's the way you wanted to go with it. Yeah, I think my main point here is just to give it a little bit more time for the build-up of that drop. You see that? So I really feel like it's not just appearing and dropping off immediately. We've got like a little bit of an ease of it coming to the end of the cup before it drops.
Cool.
Okay, don't be afraid to hold that for a little bit. Make it nice and satisfying. And also it will offset the timing of the snooze then as well, which will be nice. Heck yeah. I love this coffee boy, it's so cute.
More hang time.
More hang time! Heck yeah. Short and
Alrighty.
sweet. Nice job, Coffee Doodles.
Congrats.
And now we're on to the final one.
Also, great job in like applying yourself to the challenge, but also progressing your own stuff. Having your little coffee avatar.
Yes. Heck
Here we
yeah.
go.
Here we go. This is Fire Chickens, right? No, Phoenix King. That's the one. I was like, I know it's some kind of bird with fire.
They're the same person.
That's why.
Yes.
Ooh. We've got some cool stuff going on. It's almost like a music video. The way that you are using transitions here is super nice. Okay, let's see. What can I punch up about this maybe? I would say that I think a bit of easing on this sweat would be really nice. Either easing much more at the end before it drops or easing in at the beginning. So let's see what we got. So it goes straight into this. But if we have it like ease out. A little bit instead. I think that could feel nicer. and then we start traveling along the circumference of the face. So think about the curvature of the face as well. So the way I'm thinking about it is we have cheekbone, and then we're going to curve under there, right?
Yeah.
So think about maybe curving under the face a little bit here.
And then you would have the surface tension as they as it clings to the underside of the jaw and then continues to try and pull away.
Yeah. And then we would have the split. The splitting!
There's a scene in season 2 of The Adventure Zone where one of the characters is trying to understand accounting.
There is a splitting! He's trying to say that he's got a headache, but he doesn't have the words for it. See?
Parvakama is suggesting that if you have the character in a still held frame, doing a slight zoom with a camera or having a pan or something makes it feel less noticeably stable and stiff. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree.
I think a pan might be easier because you've got such a subtle animation with the drip. You don't want the spacing to get a little bit unreadable with like it's scaling and moving at the same time. So I think having like maybe a pan sideways would be cool.
Yeah, the thing is that whatever you put onto your animation, the larger movement will always read over the smaller movements.
Yeah.
So whatever camera move you put on has to be subtle enough as to not distract from the actual animation. So, sorry, it's not super well drawn, but you get this general idea. Here of this ease in, and then rather than this shape here, you want it slowly to split apart from the rest of the water, and then some water retracts back up and the main bulk of it will go down. The drop should be bigger here, definitely. But
the reason for it retracting back up is surface tension.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important to communicate and learn about. If you're animating water, how water clings to itself and together into surfaces.
Yeah. We see that little bit of resistance as it like starts to drag down because of gravity and then gives in and then accumulates on the bottom of the face. Adds like a lot of texture. And then we have this water drop. So I'd probably keep it more to like an oval shape here. And then yeah, we get this nice connection here. And then that's going to be that nice kick out. Nice job. Lovely. I just connect that through a little bit, you know? Just to really show the center point here and make sure you're connecting through like where these are sitting in space as opposed to one another. So you can really tell what's happening there.
Whoopa.
Whoopa. Yeah, and then that's gonna spread out a little bit. So remember to keep the previous shape you've set up kind of evolving and going. And we get this ripple. The ripple's really nice. I think you might just need to give it more time. A few more frames. Because ripples start fast from the center and then slow down and bunch up as they get further away.
Yeah, you could slowly make your way into turning into that line.
Yeah, maybe a bit slower here. And do feel free to, use circle tools to help you out, which I do all the time with ripples. Like, if I'm going to do a ripple, I'll generally just transform a circle first to work it out. And I really like this morphing. That's a really nice transition. Lovely. Yeah, and then turning into those circles is really nice too.
Night, oh Sanrania, thank you for joining us tonight.
Night, Sunrania. And then for this bit, if this is meant to be water, at the minute it's looking a bit too shard-like. If it's meant to be water. So I would, like, just soften those a little bit. And have a bit more bitty, like less large shapes, more organic. As it pushes away. More organic, less shard-like.
Kind of like if you drew like straight lines through a more rounded object, you would have that sort of like little points of force.
Yeah, so like rather than having this, you have like more like this kind of thing.
Yeah. Almost like a staggered amount of force across it. Like if you had like a graph of the amount of force applied over a surface, it would be like a really fast across it, and then where their peaks are, you've got those like bumps coming in.
Yeah.
Applied to it.
Having like these kind of ends really helps with water too, because it implies that it's not like a spike. It's like an actual 3D cylinder pretty much coming forward, but just with a bunch of like force shooting it that way. Lovely. I like the concept behind this one a lot. Like, I could see this making like the start of a really nice animated music video.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's us through the reviews, guys. I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending in so many entries. That was great. Heck yeah. So I guess it's time to announce this week's Anna Morning Challenge, huh? This will be a fun one. I think this one will allow you guys a lot of creative freedom, if that's what you would like. I was thinking this week it might be fun to look at transformation animations.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it was inspired by the clip that Tib put in last time when we were doing the analysing of the clips, and she put in that girl turning into a gun, which was hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was so fun to see the animators try and turn this human into this other thing, and how they like would fold the torso and stuff and try and figure out how that would work and trick the camera and cheat the animation to try and make it feel feasible and plausible.
Yeah.
And then also you suggested metamorphosis, I think, the other day, and I was like, huh,
transformation.
Yeah, so it can be like a Sailor Moonish sequence, it can be a power-up sequence, but I want you guys to try and transform a character into either another form of themselves or some kind of object. Let's see it happen.
Okay. I'm just thinking it over. So specifically a character into another form.
Yeah, because I feel like if we just do one form into another form,
we might
it's
just get
kind of easy to cheat it. Like a ball into a kite is much easier than a human into a kite.
Yeah, we're looking for... It's not necessarily just... This isn't a tweening exercise. This is a creative exercise.
No hiding things behind smoke. You're not allowed to just do an explosion and then have them be a new thing behind the explosion.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like a Pokemon evolution.
Yes, that'll be fun. Yes, Space Patrol Lulico. Thank you, pal bro.
Tib says, watch Flip Flappers.
So let me just recap you guys. In fact, you should do it, Mike. If you go back to Sketchfab and get up the critiques.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sync Sketch. I keep saying Sketchfab instead by accident.
And I tried desperately not to correct you. Ah.
No, you should correct me if I'm saying it wrong.
So studying others. Oh, it's in the thumbnail. There she is. Lulico, isn't it? Did it click?
There we go. So this is the one which I was basing the challenge on.
Where?
So ridiculous. All right. You're gonna magical girl your coffee mug. Oh my gosh, please. Magical girl transformation on the coffee mug. That'd be amazing.
Where did all the other studying other ones go? Is it just in a different playlist?
I'm assuming it must be in a different playlist.
Okay, I hope so.
But yeah, that is it. A transformation animation is what we're doing this week. And it's just going to be a bit of fun and try your guys' creativity out. So this one is more like a challenge of the brain than it is a challenge of your technical skills. It's just a chance for you guys to be creative and try something new. And then next week, we're going to do another more technical challenge where we're basically going to be looking at economy of frames next week and how you can get the most bang for your buck.
Cool.
So enjoy the freedom while you have it, because next week I'm going to give you a set number of drawings.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, this has been the Animation Breakfast Club Anna Morning Challenge stream. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I hope this has been useful to you.
Yeah, and Pyro for Karma, you can. It would probably be easier for us to get through if you just chose one. Just because I tend to go so long on these critiques that I don't really want to spread them over 2 days, but sometimes I end up having to.
Yeah.
So if you can choose one, it would make it easier for us, but I'm not going to stop you from putting in two. After all, it is more animation for my eyeballs to look at, which is never a bad thing.
We can look at one and analyze another at the very least. At the very most.
Make up your mind.
Yeah.
All right, we have to go. It's midday.
Oh no. Okay, we're gonna raid someone.
We're only 3 hours over time.
We're
gonna have to figure out how to do these Anna morning challenges in a way which is sustainable for us with our work day. I mean, it's okay for me because I'm freelancing. I can work from like 12 to 8 instead.
It's not too okay.
But I need to make sure that I'm there.
You guys are worth it, and you make it really enjoyable.
Yes.
So it's
Thank you guys so much for being here.
It's tough for me to pull India back.
I'm so happy that the Anna Morning Challenge is being successful. I want to make sure we can do it in the best way.
I agree. All right, let's flip up our ending soon screen.
Who are we going to raid?
That is a good question. I need to resize this.
Elaine, if you stream today, you'll hit affiliate. That's amazing. Congratulations, Elaine. Heck yeah. Get that affiliate status.
Are you streaming today, Elaine?
I think she probably is if she can get affiliate doing it
Are you
today.
streaming right now? You want us to raid you? I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but I'm not pressuring you. ... Because it's like, oh, she tempted. Oh, how the turns have tabled. Yeah, let me know if you're like, you probably need a break or something. But yeah, we'll raid. Okay.
Go sleep, pal bro. Get some good naps.
Caro or Angvar?
Choose.
I won't like choosing.
You gotta choose. I gotta go. You gotta choose.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave unless you choose.
Caro, go Caro.
Thank you.
Caro's fun and friendly. If you probably, most of you have probably seen her before. Mute Caro. And then thank you so much, and we will catch you tomorrow. Right? Yeah, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow.
Yes, that is the day when we will be back.
Changing.
Changes. Everybody go and say adventure to Caro.
Adventure to Caro.
Thank you guys so much. We'll be making some animation tomorrow, so hopefully we'll see you guys there. Have a great day, everyone. Best of luck.
I may the rest
Of your day.
be filled
With
adventure. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.